Greetings, gamers. I'm Bedroth.
I'm Shootkapow.
I'm Daryll.
And I'm Pernell.
And you're listening to Very Good Music,
a VGM podcast.
Brought to you by General Notes.
And Totals.
Alright, well, hello everyone, and welcome back to another episode of Very Good Music VGM Podcast, as you heard in the intro. And this week, we are doing our very first series showcase. I guess, a couple of times we've done, like last week we did the Kirby. Well, that wasn't really last week. A few weeks ago, we did the Kirby episode. That wasn't really a series showcase as much as like a very particular, Kirby boss. But anyway, we are going to be talking tonight about... Well, you know what? I'm going to let one of our special guests introduce the topic because it is his patron topic. One of our special patrons is here. Ladies and gentlemen and gamers of all ages, Daryll, the Last Rican Bowers.
Ha ha ha! I finally made it to the big time. Gentlemen, thank you for having me on the show. The topic today, a journey through the world of Pokemon. This is a series that I have known and loved since I was younger than young Shootkapow. And to help me along with this journey, I have brought along a guest, my fellow ECPL companion, and our still gym leader, good sir, if you will.
Oh, I thought you were going to say my name. Oh, hi. Well, my name is Pernell, as you already heard. I am the still gym leader for the East Coast Pokemon League, and I am also co-host for the Rhythm and Pixels video game music podcast, and honestly, just general friend with everyone in this chat right now anyway, so every kind of thing under the sun, I'm that.
And we are excited to have both of you here tonight. I think of the three of us, I am probably the one with the least personal experience with Pokemon, so I will be excited to hear y'all chat about some of the stuff we're talking about tonight. I know I had a lot of fun going through and listening to soundtracks. Like I said, don't have a lot of personal experience with the series, so partly just to be a little bit different, but partly because there is no way I was going to listen to all of the soundtracks to all of the Pokemon games. I narrowed it down to just spin-off games. But even with that, well, I'll tell the story kind of in pieces as we go. It was an undertaking, I tell you, but it was a fun one. Daryll, why don't you tell us a little bit about that play-in track that you chose for us?
Okay, so originally I had chose the opening for the original Pokemon Red and Blue, also known as Blue and Green over in Japan. But Bedroth came in with this banger of a remix. I'm like, yeah, no, play this for the intro, because honestly, it sounds like something that you would hear in the current Pokemon game, Sword and Shield, especially those. Oh man, so much better. I greatly enjoyed it. Yeah, so I wanted to start in with that because that's kind of where it all began. Red and Blue.
Yep. Red and Blue and Green, like you said. That was the opening theme. Composed by Junichi Masuda, who is, of course, Mr. Pokemon. You'll hear his name a lot tonight.
The Masuda method.
And like a lot of our games, this was published by Nintendo, developed by Game Freak, before the Pokemon Company was actually a thing. And this came out on the Game Boy in 1996, and the world would never be the same again.
So many years ago.
That was 24 years ago, gentlemen.
Wow.
Let's not talk about the past. Let's focus on the future.
Yeah.
How old were you in
Gen
96?
And more DLC.
Hello, everyone. I'm Pernell.
No, I want to know, how old were you in 96, Pernell?
Friggin' old. It's already pretty old. I was well into college by that point, so.
I was 9.
I
wasn't even born yet.
I was 14.
So I'm the young one this episode.
Yep. And Shootkapow was -9.
Shootkapow was in the middle of his time travel journey, righting the wrongs of the past.
I kind of did that recently.
I want to give a little shout out a big shout out actually, to Jesterdist on YouTube. A link to his channel will be in the show notes. That is Jester, like a court jester, and then Dist, D-I-S-T, all one word. He was the remixer for Red's theme, which he called it the Red's theme remix, but the opening theme that y'all just heard. Obviously, great work, as you could tell. The illustration was by his sister, who goes by Kaizu online. That's K-Y-Z-U. I will link to some of her work as well, but definitely go check him out. This video has not had nearly as many views as the sound quality would make you think it has, and I'd like to get him some more attention. He's a cool guy. He gave us his blessing to play this on the show, and yeah, I was really, really happy to have found this remix. And I was originally going to use this as the background music for something that I thought was going to be its kind of own self-contained segment, and then Daryll informed me that it's actually going to be spread out across the show. And Mr. Bowers, why don't you tell us a little about what you have planned?
Alright, so this is directed towards both Pernell and young Shoot. See, as you said, Bedroth, you're not very well versed with Pokemon. However, Shoot has been playing for... How many years have you been playing Pokemon, Shoot?
I guess since I was like 7 or 8, so that'd be like 8 or 7 years.
7 or 8 years, yeah. Half his life.
So, Pernell has been playing since college, so what I have devised, as usually on Rhythm and Pixels, Rob likes to give Pernell quizzes during the live Patreon shows. So I figured, you know what, let's make this interesting. So today, I have compiled a quiz for both Pernell and Shootkapow to participate in. The winner of the quiz, whoever has the highest score, will receive a prize at the end of the episode. What that prize is? Only I know. So, with that being said, before we play the next track, I will give the first quiz question. Now, the first 8 questions will be Gen based, so from Gen 1 down to Gen 8. The last 4 are more bonus questions, okay? So, first question of the quiz is, what Pokemon types did not have a representation in Gen 1? Gym 4 or Elite 4 wise?
Gym? You said the Gym or the Elite 4?
Yeah, Gym or Elite 4. So you guys can answer that after we play the track. But yeah, what Pokemon types did not have a representation in Gen 1, be it the Gym and Elite 4? And to also let it be known, remember, Dark and Steel was not introduced to Gen 2.
Oh, I got that. I thought you were trying to hit me with some kind of trick nonsense. Like,
No. The trickery comes later.
Gotcha. So, of the types that were in the game, which ones weren't represented?
Be it either the Gym or Elite 4. So, y'all can answer that after the track. Whose track is it, anyway?
Next track is coming from Pernell. What have you got, sir?
Oh, yeah, this guy. I think I know him.
Mine. Well, everybody, the track that I'm going to choose is actually not my voice. Is Route 120 from the game Pokemon Ruby, Pokemon Sapphire. Enjoy.
All right, and that was our first song of the evening, not counting the play-in. That was Route 120 from Pokemon Ruby and Sapphire. This game was composed by Go Ichinose, Morikazu Aoki, and Junichi Masuda. And Morikazu Aoki was the composer for this particular track, according to Bulbapedia, which is where I got all of this information.
Yay, Bulbapedia.
And this was, once again, published by Nintendo, developed now by the Pokemon Company and Game Freak, and released for the Game Boy Advance in 2002. All right, and Pernell.
Such a long time ago.
And Pernell, not just. So why did I choose this track in particular? Well, honestly, going back, the more I think about it from a nostalgia perspective, not so much, mechanics perspective, I personally found Ruby and Sapphire to be my favorite of the bunch, both in, just the general splash of color that came with it, some of the new Pokemon that came with it, and just honestly, the music was a big component too, because though it was not particularly favored by many, I was a fan of the trumpets. I'm a guy who loves him some Poke trumpets.
Oh yeah, I love the trumpets.
Yeah,
Game Boy Advance trumpets.
They're so good, right?
I know.
And then, with this track, the reason why it stands out to me so much, aside from just being legit, is that it has a bit of a triumphant sound, a triumphant adventure sound to it.
Yeah, a lot of the Gen 3 music has that.
I think the trumpets lend itself to that, though. It just keeps it upbeat. You can't go down. You can't be quiet with a trumpet in the background.
I'm impressed in several of the games I've heard where the root music, it's field music in a way, so I guess it makes sense, but it's got that sort of, rousing, adventurous sort of feel to it. And, if you're a kid out in the world, becoming a Pokemon trainer, that fits, I think it makes sense. But yeah, this is a really, really cool track. Nice, rousing, way to start off the show.
Track was great. I could do without the game.
And before we get into exactly why don't we go ahead and go back to that first question, Daryll?
Okay, so, alright, I'm going to ask the question, and then we will decide the order. So, again, the question was, what Pokemon types did not have a representation in Gen 1, be it a Gym or Elite Four? So, alright, since, Shoot, you're the young one, odd or even?
Odd.
Okay, you get to answer first.
Alright. So, that would be Bug, Flying, and either Poison or Ghost, depending on how you look at Agatha's team. Because she's technically referred to as the Ghost Trainer, but all of her Pokemon are Poison.
For now, your answer.
I'm going to go with Normal, Flying, and Bug. The reason why, if I remember correctly, why her team was all Poison was because for whatever goober reason in Pokemon Red and Blue, they literally had one evolution chain of ghost types, and that was the only ghost type set in the entire game.
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so, unfortunately, Shoot, you got the first one wrong. There was a Poison Gym Leader, Koga.
Oh, I forgot about Koga. I hate Koga.
Koga.
The funny part about it is, when we started the episode, I outright said, I'm stuck at Koga's gym.
Yeah, so in the first gen, there was no Flying Gym Leader, there was no Normal Gym Leader, there was no Bug Gym Leader. So, that changed in Gen 2. Whitney.
I have heard about Whitney. And her marvelous Miltank.
To give some context to you, Bedrock. So, Gen 2, there was a Gym Leader. Your third Gym Leader you fought against, okay? So, first Gym Leader was Flying Gym Leader, oddly enough. Second Gym Leader was Bug. Third Gym Leader was a Normal type. She throws out a Clefairy, a Clefable, and then here's this new Pokemon, Miltank. And you're probably sitting there thinking oh, this is easy. And then proceeds to use Rollout. And then use Rollout.
Yep.
And then use Rollout.
Yep.
And then use in the show, Ash's team gets beat by this Miltank thoroughly. That's exactly how it happens in the game.
The funny thing about it is, I look at that, and I think a lot of why we all remember that as being so brutal is because when we were I don't want to say we were young, because obviously I was an ancient old man at that point, but we were kind of in that mindset of, I will say we're young of Pokemon.
Oh yeah, it's Normal Gym.
So you were likely going to that gym just being I got this cool team, I love my Pokemon because they're my friends, and then you get to this place and you're completely unbalanced, and then you show up, and of course, Miltank, if you give it a chance to get rolling, is going to steamroll you with Rollout, but...
Yep. And can hit ghost types because its ability.
It can hit ghost type.
Was that?
In Gen 4, it has the ability Scrappy, which allows it to hit ghost types.
Oh, yeah. When you go back and play the remake of Heart Gold, Soul
She
Silver...
still steamrolled me!
That's the thing for me. Not so much because you come in knowing what to expect. You plan for it.
So I'm going to assume we have at least some listeners like me that don't know what rollout is.
All right.
Oh, I can explain that.
Oh yeah, you go ahead, Pernell.
It is a rock type move, if I remember correctly. And the idea behind rollout is that it has a low base power. So at default, it's like 30 base power or something like that. But every successive hit, the attack power increases to the point where if you let it go for too long, it will start one-hit KOing every Pokemon that comes out. So the goal is to not let it get started. You want to knock that Miltank out before it can get that thing going multiple turns in a row.
The only thing that makes it not ridiculously overpowered is the fact that it has like 90 accuracy or something, so it does have like a 10% chance to miss.
Yeah, but there's also another added aspect. So, like Pernell said, it has a 30 base power. However, there's a combo you can use with it, and I think this is the first time Gen 2 introduced what I call the combo system, where, okay, so if you use Defense Curl and then roll out, it immediately gets an attack boost.
Thing is, was that a factor in Gen 2 though, or did they bring that up later on in the series?
No, it was a factor in Gen 2. It was one of the first things I learned because I think at some point in Gen 2 I had a Geodude, and that was like my main go-to for certain mons, like Defense Curl, rollout, because I used to do that all the time when I played my brothers in Pokemon Stadium 2.
See, I can't imagine not wanting to use rollout then, to be honest, on a rock type.
And so, Daryll, why the hate for Ruby and Sapphire?
Alright, so here's the thing. This is going to be... So I'm going to tell some sad stories and some happy stories. And this is why I chose Pokemon, because it has had such a huge reflection on my life. So when this gen came out, I had a Game Boy Advance. I forget when Ruby and Sapphire came out, but it was close to my birthday.
It was like a 2004?
Yeah, but what was the date? I think it was close to my birthday, because usually Pokemon games come out around November. My birthday is November 21st. All I wanted for my birthday that year was Pokemon Sapphire. Didn't get it. And not only did I not get it, April rolls around, which is my brother David's birthday. I have two younger brothers, David and Daniel. David wanted Pokemon Ruby. Not only did he not get Ruby, he got the game I wanted, Sapphire, because they were sold out of Ruby. And then the following month, my baby brother Daniel's birthday, he got both Ruby and Sapphire.
What?
So I was like, you know what? F it. I don't want nothing to do with this gen. Then when Fire Red and Leaf Green came out, I got Leaf Green because, screw Charizard.
Yeah.
Okay.
Leaf Green is much better.
And I just didn't like it. I just did not like Gen 3. I took a whole skip over the Game Boy Advance generation. It wasn't until Gen 4, Diamond and Pearl, that I got in, and I will explain that story when we get to Gen 4, because, almost lost a relationship because of Pokemon. So,
well, we're gonna skip. Oh, go ahead, shoot.
I played some of Gen 3. It never really I never really liked it a lot. It's good. A lot of people really like it because nostalgia and stuff. Personally, my favorite part was the music.
I think people only like it because Gen 3 was important for one reason only. It introduced double battles.
Nope. Gotcha. If I remember, let me double check to make sure something, but I believe it did one more very, very important thing. It basically split the attacks up. So, there were two improvements that the franchise eventually ended up having. Back in the early games, there were a few stats. There was attack, there was special attack, defense.
Attack, defense, speed, and special.
Yeah.
Which was special attack and special defense in one.
So eventually, and I want to say it was Ruby and Sapphire that did it. I might have to double check to cover my butt.
Oh, they split up defense and special defense.
And
no, that was Gen 2.
They also split the attacks. So originally, in addition, the attacks only had one type. So fire was always special, psychic was always special, rock was always physical. And then when Gen 3 came along, they said, no, there are special type rock attacks and normal type rock attacks. And at that point, that allowed Pokemon to be more diverse. Now you could have specially based Pokemon across any type, or physically based ones across any type.
You were saying, Shoot?
Actually, the physical special split was Gen 4.
That was Gen 4?
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Fuck!
The young
And then
kid showing you the ropes.
attack and special attack and special defense was Gen 2.
Okay.
Pretty sure.
So did Gen 3 bring anything to the table?
Other than double battles?
In that case, it might be double battles. That might be all there was. But at that point, then, yeah, double battles is where it was at.
I'm actually going to Bulbapedia right now.
You know, people, this is going to be an episode of nothing but fact-checking, most likely.
Before Generation 4, whether a move was physical or special was determined by type. All damaging moves of the following types are physical moves. So before Gen 4, physical and special was determined by type.
So 3 still had the type basing of it.
From Gen 4 onward, every individual move is designated as either physical or special, independent of its
Gen
type.
3 introduced was double battles.
John Brown.
So,
Again, most crappiest
all right.
gen.
Okay.
And remakes.
Well, we are going to skip over Gen 4 for the moment. Daryll, how do you feel about Gen 5?
I will say this, Gen 5, White and Black 2, hardest Pokemon games I've ever played.
Really?
It was the first time, it was the first time in a Pokemon game I lost to 3 different gyms.
The only thing I knew about this particular one is it's the first generation that had the only one so far that had a direct sequel, right?
Well, technically Gen 2 was the direct sequel to Gen 1.
Right, but it was still a new generation.
Yeah.
Like, this one had a direct sequel without it being a new generation.
Yeah, there wasn't like no new Pokemon or anything. It was just, hey, this takes place 3-4 years after the original game.
And Pernell, what do you think about Gen 5?
I honestly thought that one was pretty good too when it came out. I like the idea of it being more of an urban game, more or less. Like major, more like they felt like you were visiting cities and not tiny towns.
Unova was actually based on, like, America. Like, apparently a lot of the regions are based on different areas of the world. Like, Kalos is based on France, and Unova is America, and stuff like that.
Yeah, because I remember correctly, there was that one town, the one that had the long streets. That was pretty much like New York City, which I liked a lot, honestly.
Oh yeah, Castelia City.
There you go.
But like, I was probably one of the 5 people in the world. I was like, that ice cream cone is pretty cool.
Oh yeah.
Well, before I get on to Shootkapow, Daryll, why don't you tell us what is our next question going to be?
Okay, so this second question of the quiz. What were at least 2 new ways you could evolve Pokemon that were introduced in Generation 2?
Specifically Gen 2?
Specifically Gen 2. So.
2 new ways, that'll be a trip.
Did you get the question?
I'll think about that.
All right. And while they're thinking about that, the reason I bring up Gen 5 is because, and we will get Shootcapow's thoughts on this generation when we come back.
I could tell you like 95% of the stuff about this generation.
This is Shootcapow's favorite generation. And from this, this was one of the first tracks that was on Shootcapow's list because I told him I really wanted it on there, but I was only playing spin-off games. This is my favorite mainline Pokemon game music track. And Shootkapow also loves it. I told him he could bump it if he wanted to, but he decided to keep it. Shootkapow, what are we playing for your first track of the night?
Next up, we have Skyarrow Bridge.
All right, and that was Skyarrow Bridge from Pokemon Black and White. This game had several composers. Returning were Junichi Masuda and Go Ichinose. Also here were Shota Kageyama, Hitomi Sato, and Minako Adachi. Another name we'll see probably a few more times tonight. This particular track was composed by Shota Kageyama, and this game came out for the DS in 2010.
Best system for Pokemon games.
I gotta say, every time I hear the name Shota, I just think about Endeavor from My Hero Academia yelling, Shota!
Wait, a what?
You never you watch My Hero Academia, Pernell? Don't you?
I have. Just I wasn't expecting you to reference My Hero Academia in relation to Pokemon, but that's just me. I was way caught off guard there.
Daryl's brain firing on all synapses, making all those connections. So Shootkapow, why do you love Gen 5 so much?
The main thing about it is the story and nostalgia.
Because this was one of the first ones you really got into, right?
Yeah.
I actually played this one quite a bit. So the only two mainline Pokemon games I've played to any great degree were Pokemon Platinum, because one of my students, back when I was a teacher, lent it to me because I told him I didn't really like Pokemon, and he wanted me to try it. And then...
Yeah, that's a good relationship with your students. They're like, hey, just take my Pokemon. Don't erase the file.
Well, I mean, he knew where to find me, so I guess if I lost it, he would know what to do. And then this one, because Shootkapow was really into it, so I wanted to kind of play some of it too. And I got probably about a third of the way in. Speaking of in is my favorite, like, rival/villain type character.
And great.
I feel like that ends up becoming a rather common thing because N is probably the most complex of the rival or the villain characters in the franchise. I would say, unless I'm forgetting somebody.
I think the new one is kind of she's pretty popular. From Sword and Shield.
Come on, Marnie.
Marnie, yeah.
Yeah, Marnie.
Yeah, Marnie's cool too. I mean, I'm talking about more like the complication part. Marnie wasn't particularly complicated, but she was awesome because of her style.
Oh, gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha. Yeah. But Skyarrow Bridge, when I heard it in-game, was just... It's so fun and light and happy, and I always love it. Whenever I throw on my, like, Positive Jams playlist, this one is up there near the top.
One of the best rewards for completing Black 2 and White 2 is getting access to Skyarrow Bridge and just getting to listen to this music.
Now, is this a bridge like what Daryll mentioned before? Because I don't remember a number of the areas in the game except for cold storage, because, yes, cold storage.
Oh, yeah, cold storage.
But, is this one of the bridges where you would bike back and forth to get your eggs to hatch, or was this like a smaller bridge?
Oh, this bridge was long.
What I remember about this bridge...
cinematic.
What city does this bridge lead into when you're first crossing it?
After you beat Lenora in... Not Nimbus, Nakarine City, you gain access to, like, the inner part of Pinwheel Forest. So you can, like, bike down the road or just go through the wilderness. Then you go into this, like, little area that separate all the routes in all the Pokemon games for some reason. The weird little, like, passage areas, you know? Those things. And you just, like, get onto the bridge, and the music is just... Bam!
Music starts, and the bridge,
right there.
You're walking across the bridge, and at first it's top down, but then as you get closer to the center of the bridge, it like zooms, or like it pans down, so the camera is behind you, and you're like walking over this huge suspension bridge, and the music's there, and it's just a really, really cool in-game moment.
I know,
it's amazing. And then you get into Castelia City, and then there's just even more amazing music.
So it's kind of like you're crossing the Brooklyn Bridge.
Incredible music.
It's a trek, then. Probably battles on that bridge too.
I know Gen 5. Honestly, this is a gen to me that's kind of mired in a little bit of controversy. One, all the starters sucked. All of them.
Well, maybe sure I got this right. Which one of the three? Was this Oshawott gen?
Yes.
Snivy didn't even suck that much.
Yeah,
Okay,
Oshawott, Tepig, and
The
Snivy.
worst water starter in history, Samurott.
Yeah, he was terrible.
No.
Yes.
Oh my god, I agree with
do
you.
not diss
That
my
doesn't
boy
happen.
Oshawott like that.
Shoot, I'm sorry, but
Oshawott was
I
great.
have been a
You're
water...
wrong.
After that, he went to the
You are wrong.
I have loved water for life, okay? Blastoise, Feraligatr. Look, I came into this game with hopes and aspirations, and this is the first time where my favorite Pokemon in the game was not a water type. It's a bug fire type. Because this is the first time you got Volcarona.
Oh, yeah,
Volcarona?
Yeah.
Volcarona was great.
I will say I'm not gonna say I was as extreme on it as like Daryll would say, but what I would say is that I have also always gone with picking the water starters in every gen, and with this one I liked Oshawott, so I picked him, and then I used him, and he got to his second Evo. I'm like, okay, not so great, but who knows? The last evolution could be cool. And I got Samurai, and then he went right to the box. And he never came out.
Well, the evolutions were weird, yeah. But I like Oshawott because it's a cool water starter. It has a really cool signature move, and especially in the anime, it's like sort of whole thing is amazing because Ash never evolved.
Yeah, it's a samurai. Like, it's great, but in terms of...
Yeah. Don't get me wrong,
it's just like a samurai otter with like shells on its...
And then he evolved to its final form.
Like, don't get me wrong. I can appreciate the fact that he was a samurai in the end, and I do like Shell Smash. The problem was just I couldn't get down with their interpretation of him as a samurai. In fact, this makes me feel ashamed in a sense, but I didn't even realize he was a samurai until like 2 gens later. I was just like, what the heck is this thing? He's like a weird...
I realized it by its final name, because to me, I was like, it looks like someone took Ronin Warriors and try to splice it with a seal. So you're supposed to be a samurai seal. And the worst part is, its hidden ability is shell armor. I'm like, who is honestly going to use this thing as a defensive build? No. Out of all the water starters.
Nobody.
You know what? It's tied, actually, for another water starter. Inteleon. Because I hate Inteleon, too.
Not to be that guy.
I do like Inteleon, though, but he's a glass.
Oshawott is an otter. The seal was in the Alola region, right?
Yeah, Poplio. Poplio was...
Poplio got the party popping.
Poplio's great. I love Primarina, okay?
I never really liked Gen 7.
One thing I will say about Gen 5, Gen 7 actually doesn't come up on the list tonight. I'm going to come back to that in a second, but Gen 5 was my favorite of Ash's team on the anime.
Sorry, I hate Ash, but continue.
I mean, Ash was but his team in Gen 5 was Silent and, what's her name?
Iris.
And they were just really, really fun on the show. I liked them a lot. Silent especially is probably my favorite of, like, the anime characters over time.
Iris is Dragonite, man. Such a...
When I loved how Axie would always, like, pop out of Iris's hair.
Oh, yeah.
It was the coolest thing. But...
You a question?
Quiz.
Yes.
We are back. Let's go back to the quiz. What was the question again, Daryll?
What were at least 2 new ways you could evolve a Pokemon that were introduced in Gen 2? Shoot your answer.
I think held item evolutions and friendship evolutions.
Pernell, your answer?
I was honestly really stumped on this, so the best guess I could come up with was daycare and time of day.
Okay, so Pernell, you were slightly right. Shoot got it right.
Ooh.
So
wasn't time of day Gen 4?
no, because here's what it is.
No, he said Gen 2. You said Gen 2,
Gen
right?
2. Time of day was a thing. However, it depended on the happiness level of the Pokemon, because that's how you got Togetic.
Bugger.
Umbreon,
So it's time
and
of day
Espeon.
and happiness.
Yeah.
And Crobat? Wasn't Crobat Gen 2?
Yes, also because of happiness. So
You know what? Maybe I was misthinking it. Maybe I was confusing it with catching him at the right time of day. Not the evolution.
I mean, Gen 2 did have that time of day thing, because that was the first time where there was a night and day cycle and a day cycle.
Oh.
So, but yeah, shoot, you got it right. So far the score is 1-1.
Nice.
This is the battle. This is the battle of the gens and the battle of the gens, because I'm old and you're young. Therefore,
Controversy. I love it.
Before we get to my first track of the evening, I already mentioned that I went with all spin-off games to kind of keep things simple for me. Did you guys have any special like strategy for picking songs, or how did y'all go about picking your tunes?
For now, you go.
And we'll go Daryll with you first.
Oh, okay. Well, for me, I went from the heart, because I went from games that, like I said, I had a very rough childhood. We can talk about that some other time. So video games honestly helped me get through a lot of stuff I went through. And Pokemon was one of them games that really helped me. Like, I remember the first time seeing it, thinking like, what is this? They're getting sucked up into a vacuum cleaner? Okay. And then I went to school, and like a classmate of mine's named Shane, he's like, dude, you don't know about Pokemon? I'm like, what? And he gave me my first Pokemon card, which was a Beedrill. And it just went from there. I became a hardcore Pokemon enthusiast. So a lot of the tracks are from games that have always held a near and dear place in my heart. So listening to the music, it's more of a nostalgia thing, and it brings me back to that time, even though things were kind of dark. But just that helped me get through those times.
That's cool, man. That's a good story. Cool. How about you, Pernell?
Honestly, probably a similar element there. I was just going from the gut. Like, these are the tracks I know I like from the franchise. But you got to also keep in mind that, whereas like Shoot, I know Shoot loves Pokemon, and you're kind of like, like dipping your toe, so to speak. I've been playing Pokemon not just as a person who plays it, but like almost like a way of life for almost 20 years. Like EZPL started, I started with it, and I was playing it even before that with people from the group, and I always came back to it. Like, for someone who doesn't focus on a game too long before moving on to the next thing, the fact that I could play Pokemon as much as I did for as long as I did across every release gen, the music just sticks with me in a way where you go, hey, Pernell, I need you to choose 5 tracks. I'm like, I already have them. I just got to tell you what they are. But it's like they were already kind of ready to go.
This man is being highly modest. Him and his 2 friends, Matt and Aaron, I like to call them the Big 3, again, coming back to My Hero Academia, of the ECPL, because these guys were the ones that got together and created this whole thing. And then took it to MagPL, because had I not met him and, who was it? Was it Mike TV? My very first MagFest. I met him, and I forget who the other guy is. I want to say Mike TV. They were holding the Pokemon MagPL tournament, and we were playing on Battle Revolution. And it just went from there. And had it not been for them creating this whole community, I don't think I'd be into it as much as I am. Like, I was an inaugural bug gym leader, and it's all thanks to this man and his friends. So, again, with the modesty, you pat yourself on the back, man.
That sounds like Pernell.
My arm hurts.
Man, look, I told you, okay? I keep telling you, okay? Stop playing Wii Sports without stretching.
I can't. I'm a man who likes living on the edge.
All right, and Shootkapow, how did you go about picking your tracks tonight, bud?
I just picked tracks I liked, like always.
Okay, cool. Probably a little easier for you
Man,
this
sound
time.
excited about it, man.
I love how it sounds like the only person who had an actual metric was you, Bedroll.
Well, and probably because, I don't have really a history with it. If I was going by my history, I could have gone with something from Platinum, I guess, or Black and White. Skyarrow Bridge probably would have been
Snap.
one of mine. Or Snap, or Pokemon Rumble, which is almost where my first track came from. I was modifying and tweaking my list all the way up until, yesterday. And yesterday is when I subbed out my Pokemon Rumble track, which was the Terminal area, and it's kind of a nostalgic piece of music for both me and Shootkapow. A buddy of mine bought that for me back when Shootkapow was it was right when it first came out, so he must have been 7 or 8, maybe 9. And Pokemon Rumble, for anybody who doesn't know what it is, it's I don't know how to describe the genre, but you play as a little
I think
toy
I can
Pokemon.
kind of describe it.
Go ahead.
Think of it like Beyblade, but with Pokemon. The whole concept is you choose them on, and you're trying to knock each other out the ring.
Yep.
That's it.
Okay, yeah. So, and in Pokemon Rumble, you could go through little levels and stuff, and it's basically kind of the way I played it was like a beat 'em up, except a top-down beat 'em up instead of a side-scrolling beat 'em up, because you walk up to the other Pokemon and just kind of blast them with your move over and over again until they faint, and you collect XP and get stronger and stronger. And it was a really fun little game. Nice to just kind of sit back and veg out to. Nice little entry-level game for kids. But I ended up kicking that one because as much as I like that tune, the production value wasn't great. It was kind of on the short side. And I will say, if it hasn't already become apparent, not everybody loves the GBA sound, the DS sound. This sound is nostalgic for a lot of people, and the sound quality, however you feel about it, does not take away from the compositions themselves. And everything that we are playing tonight, I vetted the playlist, and Shootkapow, what are we playing tonight? What's everything we play?
Very good music.
There we
But
go.
is it?
And so what I did go with tonight was actually, it popped up on my YouTube feed as just like one of the suggestions, and I hadn't actually looked at this game when I was going through all of my little list. I hadn't, or I listened to a track and it didn't really do anything for me, so I just didn't listen to the rest of the OST. But then I heard this and I was like, hey, this is really pretty good. This is kind of kicking. And then I looked into the game and it looks like a really neat little game. So, before I introduce it though, Daryll, what is our next trivia question going to be?
Okay, gentlemen. Question 3 comes from Gen 3. What was the type of Pokemon used in the Gen 3 gym where the fight was a double battle?
Say it one more time.
What Pokemon type was the theme of the gym in Gen 3 where the fight with the gym leader was a double battle?
I hate the fact that I know the actual gym trainers, but I'm like, what type was it?
I know this.
Time to
All
think.
right.
I know
All right.
this.
So, while you guys
should
think
know
about it,
this.
while you guys think about it, the track that we are going to be listening to from Pokemon Duel. This is the main menu theme. And that was the main menu theme from Pokemon Duel. This track was also composed by Shota Kageyama, and this one was actually developed by Heroz, company called Heroz, published by the Pokemon Company directly without Nintendo's involvement, because this game came out for Android and iOS back in 2016. And Daryll, you mentioned when we were listening to the song that you have not heard of this game. Pernell and Shootkapow, had either of y'all?
I've never heard of it
I've
either,
heard of
honestly.
it. I never played. Oh wait, actually, no. I'm thinking Pokemon Masters. No, I have never heard of this game.
The only ones I'd ever heard of that were on mobile were Pokemon Masters,
Go.
like you mentioned. Well, Go, yeah. And then there was the precursor to Pokemon Rumble, but I thought that was also called Pokemon Rumble.
So this, I'm looking at the Wikipedia now, which I don't like to do a lot, but for some of my tracks, because they came from kind of obscure games, this was initially released for Android and iOS devices in Japan under the title Pokemon Co-Master in April 2016. It was released in other territories as Pokemon Duel in January 2017, and it was actually the online service that people played on was discontinued 1 year ago, October 31st, 2019. So about a year ago, as this is going to be actually no, over a year ago after this.
See, now I'm curious as to what
airs.
kind of game this was. Like,
Interesting you should ask, because that's the next paragraph. Okay, Pokemon Duel was a free-to-play digital board game set in the Pokemon franchise. It is based on the Pokemon trading figure game, which I did not know was a thing. Two players use teams of 6 Pokemon figurines, each with unique moves and abilities. Both players start with all figures on the bench and attempt to reach a goal point on the opposite side of the board, while preventing their opponent from doing the same thing. So, yeah. The battles involved a roulette-styled wheel with different segments from which a move is chosen randomly. So, yeah. That's what...
Wow, that's...
Imagine
Pernell,
playing
you're the board
Pokemon,
game
but
guy.
whichever move you use is
Does this sound
randomized.
anything like you've played?
No, I like board games, but that only goes so far. Like, that doesn't sound like something I particularly want to get down with, I don't think.
I'm trying to get over the whole... You spin a wheel, like Wheel of Fortune, to choose an attack. I'm like...
Yeah, that's not where I get... Like, that's too random. That's way too random.
Clefairy,
I like randomization
use metronome.
if it prevents people... Yeah, but I don't use... That's why I never use metronome. But I hate that move for that exact reason.
I just posted a screenshot in the chat if you guys want to scroll down to the bottom and
Even
pick it
Sleep Talk. Sleep Talk is like 3 moves,
yeah,
and I
I
wouldn't
hate
use
Sleep
that.
Talk.
Oh,
Snores.
Oh, wait, this is
Snores
like
much better.
Sorry. No, it's more like Trouble.
With the
looks
problematic bubble.
Yeah, it looks like the game Trouble, just with Pokemon. Okay. Honestly, I could see me playing something like this on the Switch, but... Yeah, no, that random... Like, look, Pokemon itself is, as we like to call it, RNGesus. It's sometimes random numbers. So, to spin a wheel as it is, for something... No. I mean, great concept. Just they fumbled trying to... Oh, God, I don't want to talk about football right now.
Honestly, I feel like there is room to make a really good Pokemon board game, though. The problem is, every time someone takes a crack at it, they use like these like licenses where it's like, okay, we got to make a game that 5-year-olds will play, and you can't have to do any thinking when you play. You just want to say, Pokemon, go, and then
some guy named Johnson goes, how about Pokemon Candyland? Johnson,
pretty
you're
much
fired.
Pokemon Monopoly. We could do that.
They
but I
have
mean,
Pokemon
seriously.
Monopoly, though.
they've got everything
Like, there could
Monopoly
be
in.
that's what I'm saying. That exists. That's what I mean. They would do that. Pokemon Monopoly. And then they had that one to be a master board game.
Oh, Lord,
which is
no.
only really loved in a sense of like, it's Pokemon, so yay. But as a game, it was like...
Guys, I just...
but I feel like, for example, something like Pixel Tactics would be great with a Pokemon.
I just had this
game.
great thought.
Actually, it would be really good with a Pokemon.
We should
game.
all like get together and pool our resources and make VGM Podcast Monopoly.
Yeah!
Alright, so my question...
We'd all terminate our friendships because we couldn't decide on the top 5 products.
Oh, wait.
I mean, everybody knows Boardwalk and Park Place. I'm sorry, they gotta be
would be
Legacy
VGM
Music Hour
and VGM
Jukebox.
What about Super Mercado Bros?
The Mercado Bros have been around for a while. They
Exactly,
could probably be
see?
the green ones, like whatever they are. But
The green
Yeah,
ones.
there you go. They could be
But-
like North Carolina or whatever.
But you are right, Pernell. We would all fight over what everything else is. So
Look, I'm
Are
okay.
you telling me I'm Baltic Avenue? I won't tolerate this.
I'll be the electric company.
I will
Baltic
volunteer to
I'm
be
okay being
Baltic
Mediterranean.
I'll be the electric
That'll be the
company.
insult people start passing around when we get in a really bad argument. It's like, you're the Baltic Avenue.
Oh my god, yes.
Oh man.
Ow.
All right. So that was Pokemon Duel. The music, because you guys dug this. You were talking about it.
Oh my god, yes. It's going on my bonus jazz episode. Definitely.
I was a fan of it. I liked it very much. I was tapping the foot and then the other foot.
And I picked this also. The reason I subbed out the other Pokemon Rumble, I think the terminal theme is actually a remake of an earlier track. It goes like do 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 do. Anyway, that's the terminal theme from Pokemon Rumble. This sounded so different from anything else I found that I had to put it on the list because it was really good and it was different. I like to throw a little variety in there. So,
Variety.
all right. So back to the trivia, gentlemen. Daryll, remind us what our question was.
Okay. I gotta put on my Regis Philbin, Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. Okay. What was the Pokemon type used in the Gen 3 gym where the final gym fight was a double battle? Shoot, your answer.
Psychic. Kate and Liza.
Pernell, your answer.
Well, I took a shot in the dark and said, psych.
Both of you are correct.
Yeah!
Score is now tied 2-2.
Nice. I'm going to step away for a quick second, gentlemen. You keep talking. I'll be right back.
The Baltic Avenue. Alright, so that makes me think, where would Rhythm and Pixels be on the
I don't even want to think about it. I just like the fact that Rhythm and Pixels exists.
What's the red ones?
I'm just not Baltic freaking Avenue. We're not Baltic Avenue.
If anyone's gonna be Baltic Avenue, it'd be my show because it's just starting. Like, oh wait, I just thought about it. VGM Journey, Message Alex's show, like. That's a contender because he had Kevin Conroy on his show, man. Like,
well, he didn't have him as a guest. If I remember correctly, that was when he had him say like, "This is the VGM."
Yeah, It don't matter, man. You got Batman announcing your show.
Yeah, but there's the condition behind it, though. It was a scenario. If I remember correctly, his girlfriend wrote to Kevin Conroy and said, "Could you record an opening line? Record like an opening line for my boyfriend's show for his birthday?" And he said, "Sure."
Alex, marry this woman.
So in that regard, it was a thoughtful gesture, and it's awesome that Kevin Conroy did it. But there's a big difference between, hey, can you record a 5-second snippet, and can you come on the show
still,
and hang
Alex
out?
Should marry that woman. I'm sorry. Let me get a.
He probably will. They've been rolling for a while.
Let me get a personal message from like someone from like my childhood that I thought was like if like I got a voicemail from Stone Cold Steve Austin, like I'd be like, yo, that's what's up. Just man.
Yeah, but then again, like, you probably could. I bet if you wrote to him, it was like, hey, I'm like a big fan of yours, doing the show, and it'd be really gnarly. Correction, you'd have to make something. You can't be like, do it for my shit. You'd be like, I have this friend. Let's call him Daryll, and he really likes you. He really is a big fan of yours, and it'd be great if you would record an opening for a show.
And throw in the terminal disease while you're at it.
I'll make Daryll happy.
It's Stone Cold Steve Austin. He was in the VGM Fight Club, and that's the bottom line. Because Stone Cold said so, and then you just hear glass breaking.
That's literally what it would be too. That's a good nail for it. Because
it just makes me think back to Celebrity Deathmatch when he was guest starring on the. Oh wow, shoot! You probably don't know Celebrity Deathmatch.
Oh man, no, he does not. But I will introduce him one of these days. Celebrity Deathmatch is amazing.
Yeah, because how old is he now? He's
15.
Oh yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's your kid. I was watching Celebrity Deathmatch at like the age of 12, 13.
I would be fine with it. His mom probably wouldn't. But I mean, I've showed him some episodes of Death Battle, which is kind of like Celebrity Deathmatch these days. But yeah, it's
yeah, I get it. Like, well, that's like the boys.
You probably just love Death Battle because Pikachu got eaten by Blanca.
Oh yeah, the blender. Pikachu smoothies. Although it's funny because so when I was my son Eric's age, Eric is 6. I was watching like RoboCop 2 and Terminator 2 with my dad. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
Things like Freddy and Jason didn't scare me. Pinhead, Candyman, none of those guys scared me. Don't freak me out. Chucky. It was more of a logical thing because it's like, okay.
Yeah.
I'll never understand the freak out of Chucky. I'm sorry. That's like one of the ones. He's one of the few 80s icon villain, like horror villains that is manageable.
But remember, Pernell, Daryl's watched him when he is a kid.
Yeah, to a kid.
That's
what the psychological. It was more of a psychological fear because I'm like, this thing is but yay big, and no one just punts him out a window. Does he have like? I started thinking like, does he have psychic powers to make people stand still in place? Because that would be my nightmares, like where it's me running from him. But I'm stuck in place.
There's just people who didn't know how to deal with a doll. Movie magic in reverse.
See, that's a lot deeper. I just thought, as a kid, you already pretend action figures are alive, so maybe that just cuts a little too close to home for you. But
basically,
you're getting way deeper with this.
But then again, we have movies like Small Soldiers and Toy Story.
Man, Small Soldiers was so great.
Oh my god,
that was a great movie.
Yes, it is. I think that's the next movie I'm gonna put on for the kids to watch next time they come over. Small Soldiers.
But thinking about small and easily marketable things that fight each other all the time, let's get back to Pokemon.
Oh wow, we've been recording this whole time? Holy crap.
Yeah, we've got a lot of tracks
Daryll,
to go. So
tell us, I guess, first of all, what is our next question going to be? Okay. And then tell us about our next track.
And here we go with the Who Wants to Be a Millionaire music. Alright, so, this question is from Gen 4. These two unique dual typings wasn't seen again until Gen 8. What is the typing, and what Pokemon has it?
Okay, that. Watch it go Shootkapow. Oh, I know that! Oh, God, bloody hell, man!
Alright, tell you what, I'll make it easier. Okay, There was 2 unique dual typings that was in Gen 4. That one of them wasn't seen again until Gen 8. If either of you can at least answer one of them and the Pokemon that it is, I'll give you the point.
I almost like you should give a clue of some sort, like the one of the halvings or something.
Okay. All right. So one of them you can't get till the post game. That being said, better off. I guess the next track is mine. Correct?
Yes, sir.
All right. So
What gen was this? One more time.
all right, Gen 4.
Okay, there we go.
So basically, Diamond and Pearl and Platinum.
Okay.
All right. So
Gotcha.
the track we're playing is from a game, Pokemon Pinball, which technically was my very first Pokemon game. And I think, what's the track I chose? I chose High Score Screen, right?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, High Score Screen. So,
All right,
sir, if you
here
will.
we go. All right, that was Daryl's first post-intro pick of the night. That was the high score screen from Pokemon Pinball. This was composed by the man himself, Go Ichinose. I guess the second in command, sort of, if you think about these composers as being on a hierarchy. Go Ichinose would be right after Junichi Masuda. This was published by Nintendo, developed by Jupiter and HAL Laboratory. So the Pokemon Company was actually not involved with this particular one. This came out for the Game Boy Color in 1999. And Daryll, I think you said that you've got some backstory to share on this one.
There we go. Alright. So, Pokemon Pinball was technically the very first Pokemon game I had. Growing up, we didn't get much in terms of video games, so like, anytime I played Pokemon Blue and Red, it was like on someone else's Game Boy. Around the time, it was like, I think a month before Pokemon Silver came out, I was currently having a babysitting job for a friend of my mom's. And I saved enough money to buy a silver Game Boy Pocket, oddly enough, off of a classmate of mine named Doug. He sold it to me for $40 and it came with Pokemon Pinball. I took it home, I used to play the crap out this game. And me and my brothers, we would take turns, and hearing this music, it just always brings me back to, it was a point in time in my life, things, again, weren't great, but, you know, I would go to school, I'd come home, and I would play this as much as I could, and because for once in my life, it was something that I bought with my own money, and it was something Pokemon related, so for once, I felt included into this exclusive club that, for up to that point, I could only view from the outside, so to say.
It's a cool story, man. So yeah, I can see why this game is special to you. Probably not a whole lot to say about the game itself. It's a pinball game on the Game Boy, themed after Pokemon.
I mean, the one thing that it did have that I should have mentioned, so the Pokemon Pinball, it had a rumble feature on it, okay? Which required you putting a AAA battery into the game itself. So, you know, it kind of felt like an actual pinball game, so the game cartridge would shake. But honestly, I went through so many AAA batteries with that Game Boy Pocket.
Yep. That's cool. The Game Boy had so many iterations. Like, you think about, Shootkapow has commented on how there's the DS, the DS, the DSi, the DSi XL, the 3DS, the 3DS XI. There's all kinds of stuff.
The history of DS.
XL.
But the Game Boy, man, there were so many. Game Boy, the Game Boy Color in all the different variations, the Game Boy Micro, the Game Boy Pockets, the GBA.
Back in my day, we had to actually.
Well, I would
buy
say once you got
batteries
the
for our
Game Boy
Game
Advance, I
Boys.
don't think that one technically counts with that line. Otherwise, you'd say the DS and the 3DS line were the same line too. They just maintained the name.
Yeah, I guess it is a similar thing. It's like an evolution of
They
the
were just trying to
previous-
maintain the naming schema because it was something that was branding. People recognized Game Boy.
Yep, recognizable. Exactly. Like Nintendo and Super Nintendo.
I mean, honestly, they could have just put Super Nintendo Pocket on the Game Boy Advance because technically that's what it was, and it probably still was sold.
Well, and they already had a Super Game Boy, which we've talked about a couple of times on the show. But this was a fun little track.
I missed that thing.
Daryl, I liked it. I liked that lead. Whatever it was. I think maybe it was trying to be a saxophone or a trumpet or something, but it was cool. That lead instrument.
Yeah, like I know a lot of people talk about like I'm not like Rob where he knows so much about like arpeggios.
I think there's few people that are like that. Honestly, he's got a knack.
There you go, Pernell. Gift for Rob. Just get him a shirt that says "I love arpeggios." But like I said, like when you listen to it, like again, it's the Game Boy sound, but it's so cheery and upper. It just it puts you in a good mood.
It is, and like I said, regardless of the hardware, the composition here, it can't be denied. This was really good stuff. Well, coming back to what I'm pretty sure is our hardest question of the night so far. Gentlemen, have you found your answers yet?
I got one, but the second one, I'm just total shot in the dark on the type, and I don't even know the type of the actual Pokemon itself, but I'm curious to learn.
Okay, so allow me to ask the question again. These two unique dual typing weren't seen again until Gen 8. What is the typing and what Pokemon has it? Shoot, your answer.
I'm gonna go out on a limb here and say Ghost Dark and Grass Poison.
And what were the Pokemon?
Wait, Pokemon in Gen 8?
No, in Gen 4.
Oh,
What was the Ghost Dark Pokemon in Gen 4?
Spiritomb and Roserade?
Alright, Pernell, your answer.
I'm already retracting my second one because Buggrass was brought back by Leavanny, and that was in Gen 7, I think, not 8. But Steel Dragon was... Wait, Leavanny was Gen 5? With the Solar Blade?
Yes.
Yep.
God, I'm old! Anyway, Steel Dragon was Dialga, and that didn't come back until Gen 8 with my baby, Duraludin.
Oh god, I got a story about that damn thing too.
But who's the other one, though?
Alright, so... You're both right, but you're also both wrong. So, shoot. Ghost Poison has been around... Poison Grass has been around since Gen 1, Bulbasaur. Okay? So...
Oh, wait. No, I knew that...
Grass Poison. Grass Poison. Yeah.
The only pure grass type in Gen 1 was Tangela, and then, like, most of the others were Grass Poison. I knew that. I thought you said used in Gen 4 and then not used again until Gen 4.
Oh, no,
say
unique
introduced.
typing.
Like, it was introduced in Gen 4.
Unique, so it debuted
weird.
in Gen 4 and didn't come back until Gen 8. Oh, okay, that's what... Okay.
Alright, so he got one right.
But you got the other one right.
Okay, and Pernell got one right.
Yeah,
The
Spiritomb
other,
and Sableye was the other one.
The other one was Ghost Dragon, and it's Giratina. You didn't see
Wait
a
a
Ghost
minute.
Dragon type
Ghost
again.
Dragon.
Rewind
until
real
Gen
quick,
8.
though. Rewind real quick, because I'm
Ghost
lost on
Dragon
this.
was in
You said
Gen 8?
Spiritomb Ghost Dark, right?
Yes.
What gen was... It might be the same gen, which might be why it's like a trick question of sort, but when was
Creepy.
freaking, the jerk Sableye introduced?
The dumb airplane
when
ghost
was
thing.
Sableye introduced?
Because Sableye is Ghost Dark, too.
Friggin' airplane ghost.
When was...
Gen 8 Pokemon are weird.
There are so many that it's hard to keep up some days.
I will say that Sableye and Spiritomb are the only two
Yeah,
Ghost
they are
Darks.
the only two, and Gen 3.
And then they were complete. They had no weaknesses until.
So in that case, then there was actually your question only had one Pokemon as the answer. Then if the other one was that one,
actually,
right?
Oh yeah, you're right. So sorry, shoot, I gotta take the point away because the only two unique typings was Dragon Steel and Ghost Dragon, and Giratina.
So it was Ghost
Dialga.
Dragon.
Yeah, Giratina was the first one, Ghost Dragon, and Dragon Steel was Dialga. And you don't see both those typings again till Gen 8 with Duraludon, you traitorous thing, and Dreepy.
Dreepy's a jerk.
Well, you know what though, bud? That is all right.
Duraludon was the
Duraludon is
Duraludon.
Dragon Steel.
Duraludon was the...
Duraludon. That does sound like a more likely pronunciation.
Duraludon was the building one.
Yeah, he becomes a building, but no one uses it because pressure is a bad G-Max move.
So let me explain something, okay?
It's alright.
Pernell's Duraludon. So before MagFest this year, back in December, I was helping out various people who were preparing for MagPL by catching different Pokemons in dens, because I was using the time hack trick. Pernell was looking for a Duraludon with a specific nature and ability type. I was like, sure. Looked it up, found it, gave it to him. And he's wiped the floor with me on several occasions. I raised that thing. I fed it. I nurtured it. I got its stats right for him.
And then I fed it minerals and said, beat him up.
It
beat your
traitorous.
Beat your former master.
Traitorous. But I am glad that it has worked
to victory!
I'm glad it has worked for his gym.
Yeah, Duraludon is a Pokemon that my gym sorely needed, though, so I was so glad he got introduced. He's been like one of the few Pokemon that's turned like ECPL battles around for me, so. I was like, I'm starting to sweat, but not too late.
You guys are making me jealous with all the MagFest talk, because we're not probably going to be able to go until maybe 2022 at the earliest. Of course, nobody's going this year. Sorry, guys. But
look, I'm sad.
We have 8 more rounds, so I'm going to get us going.
Yeah, because I don't think 9:30 is going to happen.
Daryll, if I am keeping track, our next question is going to be a Gen 5 question. Is that right?
That's correct.
And Pernell, if I'm correct, our next track is going to be another Gen 5 track. Is that also correct?
That is indeed the case.
Look at us.
All right, gentlemen. So,
all right.
What do we have coming up?
So, so the 5th question. You found this Pokemon in the ruins in Generation 5 and was at first mistaken as a legendary. What is it?
I know exactly what this is. I use this in my Nuzlocke, and I absolutely love it.
If you have the answer right, you are now my favorite young trainer.
Now, when you say it was mistaken as a legendary, you're saying as in, like, just the general fan base was like, whoa, he's too strong to not be a legendary.
No, it's because the nature in which you found it, because it's just sitting in the middle of the ruins.
Oh, I got you. Okay.
All right, and Pernell, what track do we have coming up next?
All right, this will be the Elite Four battle theme from Pokemon Black and White.
And getting back to Gen 5, that was the Pokemon Black and White Elite Four Battle. This game, once again, composed by... Well, I'm not going to read them all. I read them a minute ago. This particular track was composed by Go Ichinose, or at least arranged. The wiki was a little bit weird. I'm going to get back to that in a second. And again, released on the DS in 2010. Now, is this is the Elite Four theme a recurring piece of music that just gets rearranged in different games, or is it actually like a new piece of music in each game?
And it's a freaking banger.
It's like the exact same in Black, White, and Black 2 and White 2.
Well, that makes a little sense, but okay, but yeah, this is a banger, man. Pernell, this was a cool Cool, intense. This feels like a battle theme.
I feel
really
like
cool.
across all the E4 battle themes, this is easily the one that sparks the most anxiety, and I mean that in a good way, because if I'm playing a battle where where the cards are on the table, I want to feel anxiety. I want to feel like my back's against the wall, and this does it. And the way I usually play Pokemon, I usually enter the battle with underleveled Pokemon on my first attempt anyway, so it's usually a struggle, which is why I like it that this track definitely carried the theme of struggling against odds. So
I've heard this theme so much because I've fought the Elite Four on my Black 2 save I've had for years. Like, for money. I've just, like, fought them again and again for money. Like, and I actually
money
recently
in the
learned about...
not like
in-game money,
gambling.
Oh, yeah, in-game money. In-game money.
No, I know what he meant, but it's just usually whenever the only time I constantly re-challenge the Elite Four is by... It's so I can level up my
I have a
Pokemon.
full team of level 100
So it's like
dragons,
just-
so...
Honestly, I fought them for EXP and
Good
money, so I can
dragons,
relate to
although I can't
that.
say
You
much.
usually sprint there with an amulet coin and a really strong Pokemon and just like steamrolled everybody to get quick cash.
To get all the medals, you actually have to beat the Elite Four with a full team of every
Oh my God, I
every
forgot
type.
about the medals.
Like, you have to beat them with only a certain type to get a certain medal, and
Like a mono
yeah,
type
that's
team.
right. Because I
Yeah.
had.
Oh, I didn't know that.
and there's also a
Yeah,
medal where
I remember
there's
this.
also a
This
medal
was
where you
the-
have to
this
like
was,
beat them with
shoot.
any single Pokemon. I've
Oh,
seen
wow.
a screenshot of like just one Magikarp and it just says "Welcome to the Hall of Fame," and I'm like, how do you do that?
I think there's a medal for that. I think there's a medal for beating them without any Pokemon getting fainted. I think there's a medal for beating them without switching out Pokemon. One of my favorite medals that I got, and I was done after this point, was beating them with a full bug team. And at the time, I was a bug gym leader, and I went through and I wrecked shop with, well, which leads us to our question.
Nice.
Segue.
I'm going to miss this one, but let's see what
Alright.
Shootkapow has for it, because I'm going to miss it.
Alright, so,
This is one of my
I have
favorite.
two
Gen 5
Pokemon, I'm guessing.
okay. You found this Pokemon in the ruins in Generation 5 and was at first mistaken as a legendary. What is it? Shoot. Your answer.
Volcarona.
Pernell, your answer.
Wait, that really was it? My guess was like maybe Darmanitan.
Darmanitan?
Oh, I love Darmanitan. He's so
That's your
cute.
final answer.
I'm sticking with Darmanitan. I got a feeling Kapow's going to nail this one though. But...
Point to shoot.
So was Volcarona?
Yeah.
Was it?
I used Volcarona on my Nuzlocke
So the
team
thing is, like, was
recently.
Volcarona like a post-game mod, or was he just you could just find him?
No, here's what happens. So,
No, you-
if I'm correct, during the main game, you go to these ruins, and I forget what the reason for going to the ruins were. You're going through the ruins.
It's like it's like actually a full side thing. You go to the Pokemon World Tournament, then off to the side there are like these little ruins. You go down into them. It's actually just like this relic pass, which you saw a little bit of in the Castelia City sewers. So you can go through here, and then off to the side there's this little passage that leads to like the little relic castle, which you can actually see a bit of in the desert by Nimbasa City. The Desert Resort, I think it's called. And then you go like into the center room, then you find Volcarona. And it really does look like a legendary place. It has like the
Exactly.
field sprite. It's like really presented dramatically. And
Yeah, because it's literally sitting there floating in the middle of the room, and it's a lot bigger than what you would think it is. And my first thought is when I first got down there, I was like, holy crap, this is a legendary. And then kind of find out, oh, it's not. It's just a... And the funny thing is, that is one of my mainstays on all my teams is Volcarona. That thing has won me so many matches. Pernell knows.
I know.
Yes, I hate Volcarona.
It's
Let's
like
just get
actually
over it. Volcarona sucks.
Along with Mystery Dungeon, it's what made Signal Beam one of my favorite moves, because in Mystery Dungeon it can reach like 4 spaces and has a chance to inflict confusion, which in Mystery Dungeon is really powerful.
I mean, again,
Speaking
I've
of
never played any of these
Mystery
games.
Dungeon. Speaking of Mystery Dungeon, that is where we're going to go for our next track.
Hey,
But
kid,
before we
nice
get there,
segue.
and Shootkapow reads us in, Daryll, what is our Gen 6 trivia question?
Alright, so Gen 6 introduced us to Mega Evolutions. Name at least 3 Pokemon whose typing changed when they Mega Evolved.
3, at least 3, okay.
At least 3. They don't have to name them all, but at least 3.
That's okay, right, there are 3. Girls. Okay, gotcha. Alright, and Shootkapow, while y'all are thinking about it, what are we going to be listening to?
Next up, we have Dialga's Fight to the Finish from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Darkness.
That was Dialga's Fight to the Finish from Pokemon Mystery Dungeon Explorers of Time and Darkness. And it was composed by, wow, Arata, Iiyoshi, Hideki Sakamoto. Ooh, I know that name. Keisuke Ito, Ryoma Nakamura, and Kenichi Saito. And I probably know that name because we have played so many Pokemon Mystery Dungeon tracks on this show. This game was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, developed by Chunsoft for the DS in 2007. So this actually came out before Black and White. I didn't know Pokemon Mystery Dungeon had been around for that long.
Oh yeah, there was they would come out. I can't remember like when they first. Well, I guess this is probably the first one, but they would release one after like every gen at that point, and it would just like introduce some of the new mechanics from the previous game, I think. But I don't know, like I was surprised that the franchise even worked as well as it did, but I was glad it did. And I also like the fact that it actually gives Pokemon personalities instead of just being like, here's this Pokemon thing. Like, they're like living, breathing, talking entities.
So how would you describe, for the uninitiated, Pernell, how would you describe Pokemon Mystery Dungeon as a sub-series?
They are roguelike games fashioned after the Mystery Dungeon franchise, which is series of games where you go into randomly generated dungeon floors and you fight monsters in them. Movement takes place on one. You can move in 8 directions. Every time you take a step, the enemies also take a step along with you. There's generally some level of some sort of fatigue meter where if you
like
run out of energy,
Pikmin.
you will run out of health and die. If you lose a battle, generally in these games, I can't remember how it works particularly in Pokemon Mystery Dungeon, but usually when you lose, you get some kind of hefty penalty in the form of like maybe losing all the items you found on your run.
You like lose all the items you have, all the money, unless you have like a tiny reviver seed to heal yourself.
Oh, gotcha. So that the roguelite elements you were talking about. So.
And then the post game, if a Pokemon is like defeated and you don't revive it, then they mega evolve.
Oh yeah, I remember.
Wait, that's how you get a Pokemon.
I know nothing about these games. I will say this: that track, I wish it played in the Battle Tree, like in the Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon games. Also, man, that is a morbid title.
It really is, and the track doesn't sound. I mean, it's like this soaring, sweeping track. It sounds like a good battle tune, but it doesn't sound like that
triumphant one, rather than
dark, intense. You know.
Yeah,
but that's the thing I like about Mystery Dungeon. From what little I know about them, like it's like an actual like Pokemon universe. Like Pokemon die in these games.
Jesus.
They sacrifice themselves for their friends, like in the literal sense, not the by the power of friendship. Like no, I am dead.
So they jump in front of a hyper beam from a Gyarados and just kick the butt. I need to know where does this track play?
I have no idea. All I've played is Mystery Dungeon Rescue Team DX.
Yeah, he actually just got into Mystery Dungeon.
Fight to the finish with Dialga.
Is Dialga fighting to the finish? Are you fighting him to the finish?
You're likely fighting Dialga.
Tune in next week,
just
boys
the
and girls.
name of the track, but
if you're using Dialga, there is no losses. Just wins.
But wait, I'm just thinking about this though.
The final boss in Mystery Dungeon DX, you're just like climbing to the top of a tower in the sky with amazing music. Then you like fight Rayquaza, and then it's just like, hey, look up. There's a meteor, and Rayquaza blows up the meteor, and you almost die.
But I'm just thinking about this. Like, all right, so the song's called "Fight to the Finish" with Dialga. Now, here's the weird thing. So the whole purpose of Dialga and Palkia is space and time. Dialga being the time aspect. So if Dialga's about to lose, he could just reset the fight. So it's not a fight to the finish.
He's honorable. He's honorable.
Man.
This is where Pokemon, like, you gotta kind of suspend disbelief even more, because I never know how to pronounce him, Arceus or Arceus. Isn't that like
Arceus.
the Pokemon god?
Arceus.
He is literally Poke God.
And you're fighting the Pokemon god, and you can beat him. That's just weird to me.
And put him in a ball.
And a ball. Yep. And then he works for you. Actually, there's there's a YouTube series called Dorkly.
Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, I remember that one. Like,
oh my god.
Like, don't make me fight God.
And he throws
Which
sand
recently
in his
branched
eyes.
off, and now it's called Lowbrow Studios. Lowbrow Studios is what Dorkly used to be now. But yes, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, but
they did a great video related to Dialga, which you should. That's with like Arceus, which you should show Shootkapow, as long as you're okay with him seeing some swears every once in a while.
Oh yeah, but he knows Dorkly.
It's funny that you mentioned this. So when Pokemon, so in the post game, if you knock out a Pokemon, it Mega Evolves. So, which leads us to the question.
Yep.
So, alright.
A shot.
Here we go.
Daryll killing those segues tonight. Alright.
Generation 6 introduced us to Mega Evolutions. Name at least 3 Pokemon whose typing changed when they Mega Evolved. Shoot, your answer first.
Mega Charizard X, Fire and Flying to Fire and Dragon. Mm-hmm. Mega Mewtwo X, Psychic to Psychic Fighting. And Mega Sceptile, Grass to Grass Dragon.
Okay, Pernell, your answers.
Alright, I took a shot in the dark on a couple of these guys, so if one of them is wrong, the other's going to be right. I know it. So I'm naming 4. Charizard, I think it was X was the one that went to Dragon. Aggron became Pure Steel. I know because, Ampharos, Baby Amphy gets that nice dragon mane. And Lopunny, I don't remember for sure, but I think she gets fighting because she's like a kickboxing rabbit.
Okay, you're both correct. So,
very cool.
That was any of mine wrong though?
Correct. Now, it's funny that Shoot mentioned the Sceptile thing because I found that out myself yesterday. Yeah, Sceptile became Grass Dragon when it Mega Evolved. Because I was like, what? I did not know this? Because, let's see, everyone that Mega... Alright, so the ones that you guys didn't mention, Gyarados became Water Dark, which was awesome, and it got Mold Breaker. Altaria became Dragon Fairy.
Oh, yeah,
Aldino gained the...
Cotton Bird
became Normal Fairy. And Pinsir became Bug Flying. And it gave this ability, which was really crazy, where all its attacks turned to flying attacks. So, if you gave this thing like Quick Attack, it was a flying Quick Attack. It was ridiculous.
Wow.
So tell me again, Shootkapow, or Daryll, what does Charizard turn into when he turns into Mega Charizard EX?
So Charizard in this one...
Mega Charizard
there was two Pokemon that had two different Mega Evolved forms. That was Charizard and Mewtwo. Mewtwo had Mewtwo Y and Mewtwo X, where Mewtwo X, like Shoot explained, became Psychic Fighting. Charizard had Charizard Y and Charizard X, where Charizard Y became... It was still Flying Fire, but it gained the ability, I think... what's that thing? I forget what the ability's called, but it cast Sunny Day. And Charizard X became Dragon Fire,
that was it. Okay.
Which gained, that's why you see the, dark blue and black Charizard. So that's the...
which I mostly know from Smash. Same thing with Mewtwo.
Which, to this day, I'm like, okay, yeah, sure, let's just keep giving Charizard all the extra stuff. Charizard was in Gen 8 first before Blastoise and Venusaur. It's always about Charizard, even though he's the weakest of the three!
Well, I don't have...
Charizard is garbage.
I don't have a what do you call, a Stoutland in the fight when it comes to this, but all I can say is I'm just glad Charizard finally has Dragon as one of its types in one of its evolutions, because that just never made sense to me.
Oh yeah, Gen 8, they got rid of all the Mega Evolutions.
But hey, now it can become very large.
Oh man,
that's great. Yeah.
Like Jabberwocky Charizard. All right. Okay. So as we pass the halfway point now, Daryll, what do our points look like?
All right. So far, the gentlemen are both tied 4-4.
Wow. All right, guys.
This old man still got it.
Neck and neck. Okay. Go ahead, sir, and give us our next question, and then I will introduce our next track, which I'm probably the most excited about this one of all the tracks tonight.
Yeah, I am. I can't wait to hear this track too, because I don't know what it is. Sorry. So, question number 7. Gen 7 introduced Z moves (C hyper combos). How many Pokemon received personalized Z moves? Now, this is a multiple choice one.
Oh.
Okay. So I will give you all 3 different numbers, and you'll pick which number you think is the best one. Okay? So, either 17, 12, 19.
And these are personalized Z moves, as in not just like Pikachu Z or whatever.
Pikachu, Mimikyu had Twinkle Tackle.
I remember that.
So
this will be an interesting one. But at least it's multiple choice, but still, barf.
And while y'all think about this, so I'm going to introduce this game briefly. I listen to lots of video game music podcasts, as everybody knows. One of them is the Rock Out With Your Card Out podcast, which is hosted by Jason Areola. And Jason recently had Alex Messenger on his show. And they played... The theme of that episode was, What Did I Just Listen To? Which is songs that you hear them and you're like, that came from that game? What? One of the games they featured was Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure, which I never knew existed. And the reason I've recently found out that I never knew it existed is because it was never released in North America. It was released in territories outside Japan, but never in North America. The music in this game is amazing, and this is probably my favorite song on the whole soundtrack. From Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure, this is Great Paradise. All right, that was Great Paradise from Learn with Pokemon Typing Adventure. This was composed by Azusa Chiba, Masaharu Iwata, and Kimihiro Abe. The music supervisor was Hitoshi Sakimoto. Set of gentlemen that we were probably not super expecting to hear on a Pokemon playlist, but really, really high VGM pedigree, with Sakimoto and Masaharu Iwata partnering on a lot of games over the years. This was, again, published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, developed by Genius Sonority, who I think we're going to hear from again at some point here. Anyway, this was released for the DS in 2009, as I said, everywhere except for North America. What did you guys think of this track?
Unexpected, I guess, which is pretty much what you were likely expecting to hear, because I was not expecting it to sound like that. Though I guess it would be rather fitting for a typing game, by virtue of if they want to put like a bit of like excitement, like in like pacing on, like, okay, type out a couple sentences, like I could totally see that fitting the mood, but I also wouldn't have expected it to be in the game, like to sound like that good.
Yeah.
Only thing I can say is Kirby Kart Racers by Capcom.
Yep, you and Shootkapow were discussing how it sounded like all those things. And so the game was released with a a Bluetooth keyboard in a lot of different regions. But you could also use it with the stylus. So like you're typing with the stylus. And I just feel like I would destroy my DS screen if I were typing with this kind of intensity on a DS screen. That's weird.
Now it got me thinking if it played like Typing of the Dead, sort of, where you have to type within a certain time frame, and also like, what was the premise? Like, you typed a word and you caught the Pokemon, how fast you typed it.
Yes, I think like you go out, you look for Pokemon, and you have to spell their name, type their name correctly in a certain amount of time in order to catch them. The professor in this game is Professor. What's his name? It's like his first name starts with a Q, and his last name is Wordy, W-E-R-T-Y. So Professor Q Wordy. And your partner in the game is a girl named Paige, P-A-I-G-E. Last name is Down, Paige Down. So, but Pokemon typing, amazing music, you wouldn't expect it. Daryll, let's get back to our question for Gen 7.
Kirby Kart Racers. Come on, Capcom. I'm here.
Daryll.
Uh-oh.
All right, so
there we go.
Question was, Gen 7 introduced Z moves, aka hyper combos. How many Pokemon received personalized Z moves? Now, this was a multiple choice question, so I'll read back the answers again. Either 17, 19, 12. Shoot. Your answer.
What'd you go with, Shoot?
I have absolutely no idea. I'm just gonna say 12.
Pernell?
I also have absolutely no idea, so my best guess was 17.
Unfortunately, Pernell was right.
Don't you? What? Why is it gotta be unfortunate? I'm allowed to be right.
I don't know, man. I just feel like I mean, come on, you over here beating on this poor kid. Shame on you, Pernell.
Hey, he's got youth on his side. I need what I can get here, man. Give me my knowledge.
Pernell,
and to be honest,
you're the old guard.
When you think about percentages, Shootkapow has been playing Pokemon for more of his life than Pernell has, even if Pernell's been playing it for twice as long.
I've been playing the game longer than Shoot's been alive.
I mean, I'm just saying, Pernell, you're the old guard. It's time to move on, you know.
But to cover my due, though, the reason why I even got that guess was because, quite frankly, by knowledge of how they were releasing those darn things, I knew 12 was too low. Because every time they were constantly announcing, every time they would like announce, like, they were giving them to like Pokemon that were getting brought back into the game, like old former starters and mess. And then like they gave one to every starter from that current gen. And they were just constantly announcing new ones on a whim. But I also figured 19 would be a trick question because that would be just too much. Like, just by virtue of the fact that 19 is just like a high number, but then 17 is really close to it. I'm like, nah, I think that's too much.
That, so, Incineroar Z move it sealed it for me. Like, first off, I'm a huge wrestling fan. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
I remember you were geeks for that.
So, it was funny when Sun and Moon were announced. I didn't know what starter to go with because I was looking at the water starter Popplio, and I'm like, because this was one of the first generations where I didn't go looking to see what the final evolution was going to be. So when I saw Popplio, I'm like, okay, we got a seal, we got a owl, and we got a cat. I was like, I don't know which one to go with. So I have two sons. Eric is 6, Stelios is 5. When Eric was first born, I tried to put him onto Squirtle. He wasn't hearing that. He wanted Pikachu because I got his mama stuffed Pikachu, and he threw the Squirtle to the side, broke my heart. Stelios was different. So, you know how you see the videos of people taking their kids to, like, places and letting them pick their first starter Pokemon via plushies? So, we went to GameStop, and at the time, GameStop had every starter plushie from every gen, including the current gen that was coming out that year, which was Gen 7. So, we lined the plushies around Stelios, and we let him choose. And at first he was going to go Bulbasaur, which his mother then referred to as a frog with a plant on its back.
Which it is.
Boy, I will reach through this.
It's a dinosaur.
No,
It's a dinosaur.
It is confirmed as a frog. It literally
Wait,
is
which
a
one?
frog with a plant on his
which
back. That is
Pokemon?
the definition of Bulbasaur.
But he has dinosaur feet. It's a soar. He's a dinosaur.
No, but it is a frog. That's what it is based on.
I mean, let's be
Technically, it's
honest
a
here.
Let
If
the
it wasn't
man
a
finish
frog,
his
what-
story. Go ahead, Daryl.
That's just fine. I love all this. So,
Technically,
Stelios
it's a
was gonna
Bulbasaur,
choose
but
Bulbasaur.
based on a frog.
but instead he turned around and he chose Litten. I'm like, alright, well, I guess I know what my starter type's going to be. And he still has that stuff Litten. So, as I'm playing through the game and I'm playing with this thing, it evolved into Torracat. I'm like, alright, so it's probably going to be like a tiger or something like that. So when this thing evolved into basically, it had a belt made out of flames. And then its Z move is it summons a giant ring, and it gets on top of the ring post, and does a full body Superfly Jimmy Snuka splash off the top onto the opponent. I'm like, Sandy Ravage.
I think it's amazing. I'm actually stuck on that statement actually because I am going to honestly openly admit right now that I just learned that concept of him being a frog from Shoot just now, because up until now I was like, I know he's something, but I didn't put a lot of thought into it.
I mean, it makes
Didn't realize it
sense.
would be a
I mean,
frog,
I see what
but
Bedroth's saying. Like,
I can
it has
see
sore
that.
on it, and its legs aren't bent like a frog. But I guess it makes sense. But at the same time, I'm just like, you're not just gonna call one of the original 3 starters a frog with a flower on its back. Like,
Well, I mean, what would you call it? I mean, if he wasn't a frog, what would he be?
Bulbasaur is the best one.
That's weird, though. It also makes that gen the only one where all of the starters, like their real-world counterparts, are in the same animal group, because
This is
they're all
true.
amphibians. You got a turtle, you got a salamander,
Yeah,
and you got a frog.
Now that's some trivia.
Huh.
Here comes
That's
he's like
interesting.
Daryl's over there scratching. He's like, wait a second, okay.
no.
here's a new question.
These questions are locked in. I did my research.
You guys carry us into the next segment real quick with Daryl's next track, because I'm going to take a call from Mrs. Bedroth, and I'll be right back.
Oh, he's
You
in
guys keep
trouble. I
talking.
forgot to take out the trash. Alright, so the next track is from my favorite game in the entire series. I've been a fan of, like, there's a good story behind this one too, but it's from Soul Silver, and it is the Champion Lance and Red battle theme. So this is a theme that plays when you fight Lance in Elite Four, and also when you fight Red in the Pulse game.
That was Battle vs. Red theme from Pokemon Soul Silver and Heart Gold. Game was composed by Go Ichinose, Shota Kageyama, Hitomi Sato, and Junichi Masuda and Takuto Kitsuda. This particular track was composed by Shota Kageyama. This was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, developed by Game Freak, released on the DS in 2009.
Takes me back.
Yes, it does. For those of you wondering why I picked this particular track, so as I stated earlier, sad and good story also. So around the same time when I got the Pokemon Pinball, it was a month before Pokemon Silver came out. I saved up enough money from babysitting to go ahead and go buy the game. Now, on this particular day that the game came out, it was raining. So I walked all the way from my mom's house I live in Harrisburg, lived in Harrisburg, PA. I still live in PA, just high Spire. From our house all the way to what we call the Harrisburg East Mall, which is about a good 30-45 minute walk there and 45 back, so about an hour. Walked up there, bought the game. On the way back, stopped by a store, got me some snacks, bought as many AAA batteries as I could buy, and I sat and I played this game for hours that weekend. I was truly and wholeheartedly obsessed with this game. Like, I would get up early to catch certain Pokemon certain times. I was always entering the bug catching contest. I think, what was it, Tuesdays or Wednesdays, Pernell?
Oh, I don't even remember. I want to say Tuesdays.
Okay, so either way, like, I was obsessed with this game. If you saw me anywhere, I was playing this game, and honestly, the game was my escape to get through what all I was going through at that point in time in life, and it helped me through it. Sadly enough, though, somewhere along the way, there was an incident where I got into a fight with a bunch of people, or as we like to call it in the hood, I got jumped. And when I did, they stole my Game Boy Pocket, along with my Pokemon Silver. So I didn't get the game back for like a long, long time. When Soul Silver came out, I immediately bought it, and just all the memories came back. So I decided to go with the track from Soul Silver because the music was a little bit more updated, and like Bedroff said earlier, say what you want about Game Boy and the DS sound, but this track, just anyone that has ever played these games, obviously they hear this theme, they just think, man, these fights, especially against Red.
Yeah, the Red fight back in the day was definitely a rather iconic push, like to say, like they basically characterized the original trainer that you used in the first game. It's like, yep, that's actually him.
He had a level 97 Pikachu. Just no. Of all the Pokemon, and it was just, but Soul Silver, another thing I really loved about Soul Silver, and it's something that I really wish they'd have kept in like later games. Soul Silver introduced, there was a thing called a Pokeathlon, and it was a mini game where you could choose different Pokemon and you could play different mini games with them, and you used the stylus. Like, I think one was a racing game, one was like a kind of like Pokemon Rumble. It was great. Me and my friend Justin, we used to sit there and play that for hours at his place. It would just be me and him sitting there for hours on our DSs playing that. His wife would come and be like, "Are you two still sitting here playing Pokemon?" Which we both would look up at her and be like, "Why are you even here?" Yes, it's funny because I chose the Soul Silver track because I went back and listened to the original Silver track, and I feel the Soul Silver track brings more like just oomph to it. I mean, it might be because of the updated, sound, I guess sound chip or sound card, but just I remember playing this game, and I already knew, I was like, all right, I'm gonna get to Red again, I'm gonna fight him. I remember this music playing, and it's just be like, yo, this fight is just more epic with this music, because I remember fighting Red, and I remember the first time I fought Red in the original, it came as a shock, because for those of you who don't know, Soul Silver, Heart Gold, and Pokemon Silver Gold, when you beat the main game, the first 8 gyms, you can go back to the original game. Well, it makes you go back to the original region, Kanto, and you can fight those 8 gyms, and then fight the Elite Four again, where their Pokemon are higher levels. And after you beat them, you get to go to, I think it's Mount Silver? And if you get to the end of Mount Silver, there is Red from the original game, and he has a stacked team. And the funny thing is, in Soul Silver, I think this is the first time... Yeah, and I think this is the first time Pikachu had the move Volt Tackle, and the way he does it on the game in Soul Silver, the screen fills up with like lines of electricity across the field, and you're just like, what is this madness? Okay, this game though, like, it means so much to me because Silver was honestly the first Pokemon game in the main series I actually bought. It helped me through like a bunch of rough times in my life where like I didn't have the greatest childhood, and Pokemon was the one thing that like I was able to focus on because it was like, okay, I had a bad day at school, home life wasn't that great, but in them few moments where I had some alone time and I could sneak away because technically wasn't supposed to be playing my Game Boy, I was at peace. Like, everything wasn't that bad. The world wasn't this dark, cruel place as it is. So, like, I always loved, to me, Silver and Gold, and those are always the best ones. And Soul Silver and Heart Gold made that game even better, especially with a thing that I wish they would bring back, the Pokeathlon, which was just a bunch of mini games that you could play with your Pokemon with your friends on your DS. It was great.
Well, if there's one thing that Game Freak is notorious for, is creating a cool feature and then immediately getting rid of it, never to bring it back, for reasons that make no sense to anyone but Game Freak, and I'm not even sure if they get it.
True. I mean, when's the last time we had an actual Pokemon Stadium game? Like, alright, we've had Coliseum, we've had Battle Revolution, but everyone knows what was the funnest thing about Pokemon Stadium. The mini-games.
Well, the mini-games part doesn't even click with me as much anymore because now with Mario parties in existence and every indie under the sun doing its own type of mini-game, like that angle's covered. It's mostly things like the Frontier or the events that let you interact with your actual Pokemon more. Or, I don't know, like, bring back the actual, like, good fashion stuff. Like, actually let you unlock fashionable stuff, mind you. Like, so, the idea of, like, getting an outfit that you earned from, like, winning a tournament, which means that that's an outfit that is special in the game. It's not just, I bought it at the boutique for $5 or $5 Pokédollars.
Yeah, that is true. But that was something that I'm a little irked about. I do have to point it. In Gen 8, you can, was it I think Gen 7 or Gen 6, one or the other, whatever one X and Y was, you can start buying clothes. Alright, Gen 6, yeah. You can start buying clothes for your characters. But then here comes Gen 8, and it's like, okay, I'm sorry. It seems like the female characters have so much better options than the male avatars. Yep. And it pains me, because I see some of my friends with their female avatars, I'm like, yo, that looks so awesome. And then I'm looking at my guy, he got a Shuckle shirt with some ripped jeans, and the Shuckle's eating curry.
Yeah, Shuckle. Yeah.
Well, admittedly, I wouldn't mind a Shuckle eating curry on my clothes, I'll live.
I think the other thing that irked me was the skin tone. So my youngest son, he's his mother's skin tone, which is slightly darker than me. Mm-hmm. I could not find a skin tone for my avatar that was my skin tone. And I'm just like, well, ready to go, Game Freak. You got, Caucasian, slightly darker Caucasian, nothing Latin in here. Oh, African American, light skin African American, dark skin Latin American. Just, what is this? No. Come on.
White, whiter, slightly whiter.
Thank you!
Man, but I remember back in the day, like, the king of customization in video games for me was, have you guys played, like, the N64 era, like, wrestling games?
Nope.
Like the,
you mean, like, these ones that sit next to me, No Mercy?
No way.
WCW versus NWO?
Yes. Yeah, man, No Mercy was, the best.
I can attest to that because I damn near got every WWE. Oh man, you got to edit that out too. I got dang near every WWE game that usually comes. Like, it's like some people get Madden every year. I usually get the WWE games every year. We're not going to talk about the abysmal that was 2K20. We can talk about that.
Let us not.
But yeah, their customization features are madness. Although I will say to this day, Day of Reckoning for the Nintendo GameCube and Day of Reckoning 2 was probably peak WWE customization for wrestling games, because you had games like
I missed out on that.
I forget what was out for the Xbox and PS2 at the time, whose customization options were nowhere near what Day of Reckoning was. So, but again,
Nintendo's the best. Yeah, I'm not sure what we're talking about. Why don't we just go back to the question?
Okay, so The 8th question is from Gen 8. Gen 8 has given us Dynamax. How many Pokemon to date have Gmax forms, excluding Melmetal? Now, to verify, Gmax, even though Dynamaxing and Gmax are 2 different things. You can Dynamax a Pokemon. Gmax form is the Pokemon changes form completely into looking like something different from what it originally is. For instance, Gmax Blastoise literally has kind of like a fortress on its back. So, to date, how many Pokemon to date have Gmax forms excluding Melmetal? Their answers are either 30, 25, 31. Shoot, your answer.
I feel like it's 30 because 31 might be counting Eternatus, which is not Gigantamax, it's instead Eternamax when you fight it on top of Rose Tower, or wherever it is.
Alright, I'm going to go the opposite end of the spectrum this time. I'm going to try 25, because I'm having trouble remembering all of the Gmax moves.
Unfortunately,
but
Pernell,
I feel like...
you're incorrect.
Which was
exactly. It's 30.
So, yeah! Darn it.
Yes!
Yes. It's funny because, alright, I had to go back and look at something. So, I said Pokemon, not like how many different forms there are. So, if I were to go different forms, it'd be well over because at least, I think, 1 or 2 different Pokemon have 2 different Gmax forms. One of them being Appleton.
Toxtricity has Heike and Loki.
It has 2 different Gmax forms.
Wait. Applin and Applin.
No, he has
So he has
Gmax
two.
form.
There's a Gmax
As in,
Appleton,
like-
but he doesn't have a Gmax move?
No, he does. I think it's, I forget what it's called.
That's what I mean.
But,
He has a
he has
Gmax
2 different
form,
Gmax
but he doesn't have a
forms.
Gmax
He has
move.
his, Apple... I forget how it is, but it's the Frapple and the other one. Like, it depends on what form he takes.
Yeah, but that's 2 different Pokemon. It's Flapple. Yeah, it's Flapple. That's an evolution.
I still count it as
Appleton
just
and
one
Flapple.
Pokemon. He just has 2 different... Yeah.
Oh, they're 2 mine.
I count it as one,
yeah.
okay? Like, look,
No.
I'm sorry. Like, you're not gonna get me...
Flapple.
That's like saying, okay, there's 6
counts.
Thunderous
They're
Landers
2
and
different
Tornadoes.
Pokemon.
So
You
they just
use
have
2
to-
different evolution methods for them. Like,
Fair
Now I gotta
question.
look this up because now I'm wondering if they have the second. I think they have different Gmax moves too.
no,
They're putting you on the spot, Daryl.
like, do you count all the evolutions as one Pokemon?
Not exactly. So with the Eevees, they're all their own different one. But the Appleton
they're
is just a
different
different
Pokemon.
form. It depends on how you evolve it. Because either way...
Just
it's
like
still-
the evolutions.
The only thing that changes...
When you realize
you
that you're
evolve the
arguing in
evolutions
favor
with
of...
2 different.
You realize that if you win this argument, you lose the point and
Hold on, let me
Pernell
look
gets
this
it.
up.
They're 2 different
Well, yeah, but
moves.
that's
Gmax.
because-
I'm looking. I'm 100%
Because
looking
you have
it up
integrity
right
in your
now.
Pokemon answers.
Yeah.
Right now, I'm
That-
looking at it right now. There's Gmax Tartness.
I gave it to the kid. That's all there is to it. I'm the quiz master
Appleton. They
here.
have 2 different moves, and they're 2.
No, Pernell,
Pokemon.
roll for initiative.
I'm the ref. Because apparently it's Gmax Tartness. Tartness is Flapple. It lowers the evasiveness of all
trying to
opponents.
find
And Sweetness
what's
is
its-
Appleton. And it heals allies of status
Wait,
conditions.
is this his G? Alright, so... Alright, there's...
I wouldn't use
All right,
either
all right.
personally, but that's just
I'm
me.
looking... Because I'm talking about the G-Max form, not the move. Yeah, the G-Max form is the same for both of them.
All right, music episode's canceled. It's all about Appleton.
Ah! You know what? For that, Pernell, now you have to go fight Wandering Boulder.
Who?
It's a D&D term. Jesus Christ.
You don't need D. Nah!
Oh my god, really?
Part of me kind of feels like that's lazy on their part too to make them the same, make them look the same. They could at
Yes,
least
they
make
do.
the coating, the goo different colors. They have the literal same sprite with different
that's like
moves.
saying, like,
That's
you
just
could also
lazy.
say the same thing about the fact of, okay, Melmetal is strictly only to Pokemon Go and Let's Go, but then it's getting a G-Max form and they're porting it over to the Switch eventually, and it's just like, but I can't actually... So, you tell me if I want this one Pokemon, I have to either...
But that's not lazy. That's
Man.
just being smart to make you play that blasted game.
It's all about them Poké Dollars, man.
Yep.
Speaking of which, I've got money riding on this game. So, what's the next question, Daryl?
Alright, so, now that we're out of all the gens, the next couple of questions are more bonus questions. So, for each question, there will be a point for the regular answer, and there'll be a bonus point if they can answer another part of the question, which I'll ask after they give the answer.
Oh, you're adding rules.
No, I already told you this. Yeah, basically. Haha. Alright, so, question 9. which Pokemon type is there the most of? And I have the exact number.
Okay.
Right, so that being said, Sir Bedroth, what is our next track?
All right. Next up, I believe we have a track from Pernell. So, and from a spin-off game. You're treading on my territory. So, Pernell, why don't you introduce the next track for us?
Yes, we did, actually. So, the next track comes from the game Pokemon Puzzle League on the Nintendo 64. It is Koga's theme from said game. As you heard, yeah. So, hopefully you enjoyed it as much as Last Rican does.
It's the closest thing I'll get to a Tetris Attack sequel.
That was Koga's theme from Pokemon Puzzle League. This game was composed by a lot of brand new names to this list. John Siegler, Mary Carallo, Luis Cortellesi, Ken Kuminos, Neil Jason, Michael Whalen, Ralph Shakevitz, Brian Steckler, and Lawrence Schwedler. Published by Nintendo, developed by Nintendo Software Technology, and released on the N64 in 2000. Now, this was a puzzle game, and this one used some of the music and also like a lot of the look of the anime, right, Pernell?
Yeah, it was pretty much built specifically with using anime assets. Like it even has like Tracy in the game at some point, which, as you know, was only in the show. This game was one of the many Pokemon games specifically intended to take advantage of Pokemania that had been occurring during this specific window of time.
What do you mean occurring? It's still occurring.
Not like that it was. Don't get me wrong, it never really truly died down, and Pokemon Go definitely gave it another kick in the pants as far as influence outside of video gaming in general. But at that time, it was like a rather special time because the anime itself was big time, the game itself was new, and Pokemon was enjoying a huge surge of social popularity because like the news was picking up on it and stuff like this crazy phenomenon, this Pokemon franchise. Pokemon cards were selling on in schools and mess. People were buying like shiny Charizards for stupid amounts of money for no reason.
Which, if I could interject real quick,
it was definitely
recently
the big thing.
Someone retired right? Logic just bought a first edition, near basically mint condition holographic Charizard for close to $220,000.
Jesus crap. See, that's the thing, like, Pokemon the trading card game hasn't stopped being made since it came out way back then. They're still making new sets, and yet I've not heard of any cards that still flip like the freaking shiny Charizard or whatever, Holo Charizard from way back when. Like, it's almost like no one even cares about the current ones. Now it's just the people who play the game buy those. But people who have no concern and desire to play the game are still looking for shiny Charizard. What?
It was a phenomenon.
Phenomenon, that's why. But like, yeah, it was a big thing back then. People were losing their marbles over it. And it was something. But with the case of the Pokemon Puzzle League game, they took an already established puzzle game franchise called Panel to Pawn, and decided to snap the Pokemon label on top of it to sell it with branding power. And I believe they did pretty well with that because the game did sell pretty well. They used actual voices from the video game, from the TV show, and animation images from the TV show. I think they even had like an animated opening too. It's been a while, so I don't quite remember that part. But it was a great game in its own right, though. Like, even if it didn't have the Pokemon label. In fact, personally, I think it would have been better if it didn't, because I'd have been happier not hearing "play with me" or whatever random quips the show characters were saying every time I made a combo.
Oh yeah, Ash hate that guy.
Go Pikachu! Go Pikachu! Yeah, I get it.
Also,
I'm here to play Tetris Attack. Thank you.
Something that people will also find interesting in this game was one of the first times you could. They had the actual Elite Four members in there, and you could pick and choose to fight with them while doing
Ash is annoying.
the challenge. So yeah.
Yeah, like
Oh, wow.
it makes sense. Like, 'cause they were all like his skins. I think you can even play as like Team Rocket.
Yes, you can.
They pretty much went all in on it. And I want to say that, part of me wants to say that like Giovanni was like a hidden battle, but I'm sure I don't think he really
I think
was.
he was in
But I
the
gotta feel like there was like someone that was. No, he was in the game. I'm just trying to remember. I feel like there was like a hidden battle that you could only get if you went undefeated on like a story mode run or something. But I could be wrong. It's been a long time.
Was it like ever been re-released?
No.
Nope.
Oh wait. Wait, I'm
The
correct. I'm wrong. The game was released on the Virtual Console May 5th, 2008.
VC. That makes sense. I'm thinking like a full-on like re-release, like you can buy it for like the Switch or
That'd
something.
be nice. I mean, we are getting Pokemon Snap too.
Yes, Pokemon Snap.
Oh,
2.
yeah.
I mean, we just had that conversation. Just buy Flip-On. We just had that conversation. Buy Flip-On and be done with it.
Man, no, I'll look, man.
The only thing that'll be lacking is the cylinder mode.
Oh wait, hold
Which
on.
honestly, I
All
also
right, so
kind of
here's
like.
what it is. All right, so this is stupid in my opinion. All right, so I'm looking at characters. All right, it says here, the game had different modes. Let's see.
3D cylinder
Giovanni is the
mode.
last opponent of easy mode. Bruno is the last opponent of normal mode. Gary with his evolved Pokemon is the last opponent of hard mode. In very hard mode and super hard mode, Mewtwo is the final opponent, and beating him gives the player the true ending of the story in one-player stadium mode.
Okay.
Cool.
Oh, okay. So there's no hidden characters. It's just difficulty based.
All right. So
Okay. That makes sense then too. I'm okay with the idea when games like, okay, you have to actually step up your levels to play against the harder people.
yeah.
I can
I don't know if
appreciate
So
I
could you actually like
'Cause you
use the Pokemon's like special powers and elemental types and stuff?
No.
Nope.
Which is
It was 100% skin. It was purely
basically
skin.
the only way they did it was you choose the person you want to use, and then like each round was represented by like the person's Pokemon. So it was like best 2 out of 3. So like your mons get knocked out and that's it. There was no special abilities, no like, oh, you chose Lorelei. She first Pokemon is Dugong. You can't freeze the other opponent's blocks. It's just, oh well, you made blocks and giant gray block appeared because you did a
That's
combo.
lame.
Yay.
And it's kind of funny that they did that too, because really, that's how you know how semi-lazy it was, because there are, like, puzzle games do things like, here's a special move that this character type can do. Heck, Magical Drop F was doing that, and that came up before Pokemon Puzzle League did. So it was 100% just, here's a skin over these normal things that we've already been playing as, but you'll feel like you're playing Pokemon, and that's cool, I guess. But in the end, it didn't bother me, because ultimately, I was just happy to get a sequel to Tetris Attack. To purchase it, and I like that cylinder mode again, which is like a 3D mode that the game had. So.
Basically, rather than having it be just a flat, you could rotate it, and like you said, it was like a cylinder, so it was like, yeah, basically it was a cylinder. Like, it was just a circle, and you rotated it to try to get more combos.
That's really
It was
cool.
crazy. It added a whole new level of, like, gameplay to it.
It was literally just harder because you had more, just more to manage.
I like those 3D style puzzle games. Well, I think we can go ahead, and I forgot to mention this when we talked about Soul Silver last time, but Daryll, I'd mentioned to you that Shootkapow was having trouble with his Soul Silver. Shootkapow, why don't you sum it up for us?
So I'm doing a water-only run of Soul Silver, and I recently caught a Chinchou, a water electric type, And I wanted to get Thunderbolt from the game corner because I have a lot of experience with the game corners and just gambling for TMs. So I wanted to get Thunderbolt because it can't learn it naturally, and it's like the best electric move that it can learn. And...
I love that this game is teaching you to gamble.
But the game has a problem, like a pretty common problem apparently, where it just like won't run the game corner. It just freezes.
Alright, 2 things about that. 1, kid, gambling is for losers. Don't gamble your Poké Dolls away in those... Didn't your mother tell you? Gambling away in those dens with those other losers.
That's
what
safe states are for, Daryll.
That being said, isn't there a... wait, so you're telling me in Heart Gold and Soul Silver the only way to get the Thunderbolt TM is through the
game corner? You can find it in Cerulean Cave.
I get what you're trying to get it before you get there. That's making your life easy. I could have swore Chinchu would at least learn Thunderbolt on its own.
Nope.
Yeah, Charge.
He probably learns Discharge.
Yeah, it learns Discharge like level 34 or something.
So, is a water only type run? Is that like a type of Nuzlocke?
No, it's a Nuzlocke is a different type of Pokemon challenge.
So. Okay, well, so it's funny, like, the first time I ever heard of a Nuzlocke, I thought it was, like, a type of Pokemon, and so I kept, like, trying to Google it, and,
it technically is.
and figure out, like, what type of Pokemon it is. So, what is a Nuzlocke?
This has been something that I know people have done for a while. Like, if you go on Twitch, you see people doing runs of this. Nuzlocke, I mean, for those of you who don't know what a Nuzlocke challenge is, basically it's, you start out the game with 1 Pokemon. As you go through, I think you can only catch like 1. I think you can only add 1 more Pokemon to your team after you defeat each gym.
No, it's
any Pokemon
one per area
that you have that get knocked out, you have to put in your graveyard, and you can't use them again.
Yeah,
they're dead. Just no recover them. It's permadeath, basically.
Yep, that's the annoying part.
Yeah, just like You didn't give Vizzy. You went and chose Vizion to go up against this Lancer, but he's like 1 space in front of him. So yeah, he gone now. Bye.
Like Fire Emblem.
But you can still use like potions and stuff. But the problem with that for me is just that I like the idea of trying to do a Nuzlocke, but at the same time, it's just such a time sink if you lose anything.
True.
Like I'm terrible at like doing stuff like that for specifically that reason.
I know when I get Alpha Sapphire for the second time, because I had traded it in and I got it back again, I did what was called a Wonderlock challenge, where basically you get to the point in the game where you can start doing trades, and you catch 6 Pokemon, and you trade them, and you get 6 back, and whatever those 6 are, you have to use for the rest of the game.
But you can at least recover them and stuff, which is nice.
Yeah, but you're stuck with those 6, so for all you know, somebody could randomly trade you 6 Magikarps. And while in the beginning, you might be okay once they evolve to Gyarados, but before that...
Let's be real here, though. Let's be real here, though. I mean, if you're doing this thing, and you go in and trade 6 Pokemon, you get 6 Magikarps, you're not taking it. You're starting to heck over. Like, nope, 6 new wonders. I'm not doing this because I'm not beating it with 6 freaking Magic... Yeah, you can evolve in the Gyarados. Yes, you can, but you're also not beating the game with 6 Gyarados. So, no dice. No dice.
Your entire team's just quadruple electric.
I think it was either the Dyad or the Messenger, and they did a Pokemon episode, and they were talking about how their friend convinced them to do a run through of Ruby and Sapphire using nothing but a group of Lanoons and a group of Zigzag Goons.
That was Dan Loughton when he guested on the Messenger's VGM Journey.
Yeah, and he did a run through the whole game with nothing but Lanoons, and I was like, "What is this madness?"
That's
Dan. He kicked his butt though. I remember he was all ecstatic when he did like I beat it, and he showed a photo of like all of his different Lanoons. And he did a good job with that though. But he did again. Dan plays a lot of. He gets in with a lot of difficult games anyway, so I expect that out of him at this point.
Yeah, that is definitely when it comes to games, that is Dan's type for sure.
Speaking of types,
ooh, nice
segue
segue.
To the 9th question. All right, gentlemen. The question was, which Pokemon type is there the most of? Shoot, your answer first.
I think it's poison because There were a lot of grass and poison types, and just grass types in general in Gen 1.
Okay.
And
Pernell, your answer.
built up.
I actually have a wager on this one, I think.
You should just wager it now. No, stop it. You already have my answer written down on paper, so...
Nope, that's all right, sir.
Okay,
You're the
Bedrock,
guest.
what's your answer?
You're the guest. Let Pernell go first.
All right, fine. I will. You want to spill the beans? I was originally going to... I was torn between whether it would be water or flying, but in the end, I'm sticking with my original guess on it, and I believe it's genuinely water. Because there's always, way more water types introduced every gen than there needs to be.
Yeah, that was actually mine, too.
All right,
Water.
and Bedroth, what is your answer?
Yeah, it was water for me, too.
Okay, unfortunately, Shoot, you're incorrect. It is water. Now, for the bonus answer, exactly how many water types, include dual typing, are there?
What?
Heck if I
The
know,
answer's-
man.
No, I'm gonna give it's multiple choice.
What are you talking about?
The answers are 215,
Okay.
133, 175.
We're going with... and how many Pokemon are there now? There are like a 900 and some jazz, right?
900 and some change, yes.
Okay. With that in mind, I want to guess, but there's also freaking 16 types, so I'm gonna go with what was the second number?
175.
That one.
Okay.
Wait, rewind. Take it back.
Okay.
Alright, doing the math.
Pernell's getting serious.
Yeah, I feel like 175. That's a bonus question. I already got the real answer right. I'm content.
A real answer.
Shoot.
I'm gonna go with 175 as well.
Okay. Bedroth, what do you think it is?
I don't know. I'm gonna bow out on this one. I have no idea.
You're all wrong.
Of course we are.
It is exactly 133 water types as of Gen 8.
All right.
I should get that because I was closest.
Nope.
Oh, come on.
I am absolute in my rulings. This is not The Price is Right.
It should be 134.5.
By the way, some of the people on that show, I'm like, look, either y'all have never actually bought home appliances, or y'all don't know how to play this game.
Do you even know what The Price is Right is, Shootkapow?
Not really.
Well, that's a podcast from another podcast.
All right. Question number 10. Dun, dun, dun. Name one type that has had the least gym representation throughout the entire series.
Say it again.
Name one Pokemon type that has had the least gym representation throughout the entire series.
Oh yeah.
This is going to be fun.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay, that gives me time to think
This is
about
crazy,
this.
because
Wait a
Fairy
minute,
just came out, right?
That doesn't make sense.
All right,
I feel like you need to have a caveat there because otherwise you can just say fairy.
Okay, so again, trust me on this. I did the research on all these.
So in that case, it's not fairy then because otherwise it'd be kind of ridiculous to not omit it. So, okay, let's roll with this.
All right. So, our next song is going to be... this one is yours, Shootkapow.
Oh yeah. From Black 2 and White 2, this is Rival Hue.
And that was Battle Rival Hue. This from Pokemon Black 2 and White 2. This game was composed by Go Ichinose, Hitomi Sato, and Teruo Taniguchi. This particular track was by Go Ichinose himself. This was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and developed by Game Freak like so many other games on the list, released on the DS in 2012. And this game was actually the direct sequel to Black 2 and White 2.
Which is weird that they started doing that, actually.
And that's still to date, like, the only numbered sequel, right?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure. Numbered.
Well, they technically... I mean, it's weird. So, for those of you who don't know, to give context, we had red, blue, then yellow. Then you had gold, silver, then crystal. Then it was ruby, sapphire, emerald, diamond, pearl, platinum. Then we got white and black, and then it was white and black too, which threw everyone for a loop. Then we had X and Y, and then
Yeah,
No,
it was X and Y and X.
I forget. I'm losing my chronology. Either way, they didn't do sequels for a while until they had Sun and Moon, which was Ultra Sun, Ultra Moon. Also,
I want to say after Black and White, it was X and Y.
Yeah, I think it was. But then we got I think they went to.
It was just X and Y because the joke with everyone saying they were going to make a Z.
Yeah,
and then Z never happened.
Yep. Although it was funny, I remember when Pokemon Sword and Shield was first announced. They said the third game would be Pokemon Chainsaw. I was like, I need that.
Pokemon Gun.
I thought it was Pokemon Gun.
Pokemon Chainsaw, man.
I had to look that up, I swear, because like all the imagery was Grookey holding a gun.
There was one of that.
Though, to be honest, I actually kind of prefer that. I just hate that they're like, hey, yeah, you can buy the whole thing as a cart. Like, it would have been nice if you just said that.
Yeah, the whole, expansion thing instead of a third game has been kind of divisive.
I guess, you know what, now that I think about it, I think I would prefer that.
I like the DLC.
They actually are. They're releasing it like that. They are doing that. The problem is, I would have rather bought that than the DLC elements. But then again, the problem is that means I would have also not been playing Sword and Shield for a year. But still, it's like, I hate the fact, I'd rather have it on a cart than have these files. But, once we move gens anyway, it'll be all forgotten. I'm still rocking my old GameCube memory cards and stuff, so it's not all bad, but...
Hey man, there's nothing wrong with rocking GameCube memory cards.
Oh, of course not.
So, this particular soundtrack brings me back. So when I was picking episodes for my favorite songs from Shootkapow's favorite games, I noticed when I was looking over the Black 2 and White 2 soundtrack that there are a lot of different there are songs for something called the Poke Studio.
That.
Yeah, and they seem to be different types of emotions or dramatic things, and
Star Studios.
I mean, some of the songs are actually pretty cool, but I've never seen anything like that in any other Pokemon game. So,
for good reason.
So, what was that?
No, you handle this. I don't want to talk about the contest.
Well, the problem is Black 2 and White 2, I barely played because here's the hiccup with me with Pokemon games. So, and honestly, I'm kind of experiencing it now, even with this current one. So, they released new Pokemon games, and it's all hype go nasty because, hey, everybody's happy to get new Pokemon. You go and buy the game, you can catch the new Pokemon and see what they're like. Yay. And that's exciting. Yay. But the problem is, whenever they do these sequel games, they never add any new Pokemon except for some nonsense with the legendaries getting a new costume or something. So in the end, what ends up happening is I buy these extra games intent on playing them, but then the hype burns out because I'm I'm not new to look forward to. It's I know all the Pokemon I'm going to see. There's no new discoveries to come across. Nothing to excite me, and I end up moving on to something else. So I think I got through a whopping 2 gyms in Pokemon Black 2 and White 2.
So the Pokestar Studios and why I hate it so much is because it's so boring, and I know that because it's actually required in the story. You have to do it after you beat the second gym.
That's the best kind of boring stuff in a game.
The required boring stuff. So you have to do it after the second gym to make this old guy who is usually a sailor get on.
Well, what is it?
You have to make him get on the boat. Okay, well, what it is, you basically go and there's this guy and he wants you to star in a movie or something, and yeah, it's scripted battles, and it's so he brings you into the
So like it'll be like a trainer is a cast member.
yeah.
And they'll use a Pokemon, and you're required to use a specific move on a Pokemon that's on your studio loan
that's how it
team
works.
or something.
It was.
Wow.
Oh, that sounds lame.
So it might be like a good tutorial.
Yeah, it's a good idea, but in practice,
it's in the middle of the
doesn't.
game.
Yeah, it's actually at the beginning of the game.
Okay. Wait, so maybe it is like a tutorial, but this is a sequel game. So
is it like curry?
So
the curry.
Oh, the curry.
The curry is kind of annoying.
No, that brings me back to like.
Oh my god, the curry.
It's like you can eat curry with your Pokemon. What does it do?
Nothing.
They smile.
I mean,
it's a quick way to get the happiness up over, having to sink a bunch of money into like
Just stuff them with vitamins. Boom, just eat them. Eat them.
But not like. But
Barbarians.
This brings me back to something that came up in one of the live shows with like Rhythm and Pixels. I remember we brought that up one time.
What when I make what curry now from Rhythm and Pixels?
Yeah, in Rhythm and Pixels, somebody brought it up one time, the Pokemon curry, and I asked the question, what do we think is in that curry?
Oh yeah, they're cannibalizing Pokemon. Well, the thing about it, like, the funny thing is, like, it was never a secret that they eat Pokemon in this universe. The odd part is that they just kind of gloss over like it doesn't mean anything.
Well, that's how nature.
Because they literally do. Like, there was one point I remember in like one of the lexicons where he was like, how they said Magikarp meat is not very edible because it's like hardened or something like that, so you can't eat it. But at the same time, I know they've mentioned eating like Tauros. What was it? Slowpoke tails are a delicacy.
Oh yeah, that was in Gen 2.
Oh.
But then again, those descriptions get really dark too. Like, what was it? Drifloon kidnaps children and takes them into the sky and they suffocate.
Oh yeah.
Oh,
like a whole
my
web
God,
series about it.
Some of the lore in the Pokédex is just very.
It's dark, man.
Yeah.
Some of the lore in this.
like with Mimikyu. What does it do?
It's like some kind of like if you see it without its cloak, you just like die or whatever.
Like, they get real. It's kind of funny, too, because if there wasn't a Pokemon cartoon to make light of all of this, it would actually be like, okay, I get this. These Pokemon are legitimately wild animals. They're not your friends. You are entrapping them. Some of them they can be your friends, like a dog or a cat or a horse, but Drifloon will kill your children. Like, it's not. This is not a joke.
Oh,
That's cool, Will, too, actually.
My kids love balloons, and it's just like, balloons annoy me. And now I have even more reason why. No, you can't have a balloon. Why? It will steal your soul. Okay? No balloons!
So, alright, before we get too far down that road, Shootkapow, tell us a little bit about this song and why you picked the Rival Battle with Hugh theme.
Because it's good, like all the other Gen 5 music. Gen 5 music is the best.
So, how does Hugh stack up with the other,
Huey?
How does Hugh stack up with the other rivals?
Well, he has more of like a dark backstory or whatever, and like 5 years before the events of Black 2 and White 2.
Would you say a tragic backstory?
Sort of, but not really. Like 5 years before the events of Black 2 and White 2, his sister's Purloin was stolen and by Team Plasma, which is the evil team in this generation. So he's like trying to get it back, and he just like hates Team Plasma, kind of like Brother Silver, the rival in Gen 2, hates Team Rocket, but for different reasons. Yeah, because Team Plasma steals Pokemon a lot, and
but it's liberating.
Oh yeah, Team Plasma liberating Pokemon, but it's literally just blatant thievery.
Yeah, it's like, hey, we're gonna capture your animals, we're gonna set them free, and that makes us evil people because we don't want you to capture these animals and make them fight each other.
Yeah.
That sounds so terrible!
Well, yeah. This is kind of the Pokemon world, so that's what they do. It's like, the Pokemon are fine with it, I guess? I don't know.
I mean, I'm not gonna lie. I'd be pretty pissed if someone just comes in my house, lets my Incineroar out, like, hey man, you know how many IVs I had to make this thing get? And you just gonna let it go?
Pokemon world, it's not really...
So I feel like I missed the element of the tragic part here. So what happened with this guy?
So yeah, basically, Team Plasma stole his sister's Purloin that his grandfather caught for him, like, before he died. there's grandfather caught for his sister, and then then Team Plasma stole the Purloin, and now Hugh's just like super mad all the time.
Okay, that's what makes it tragic. Is like it's special because their grandpa got it for her.
Yeah.
I'm glad though, at least, because when you said tragic, I thought you was gonna say like his little sister died chasing after the Purloin or something.
Gosh.
But like he had his leg broken like in a freaking like Poke Factory in the events of like trying to help a Clink.
Oh no.
I don't know. But honestly, that sounds like a story that can still have a happy ending, because I'm assuming at some point in the game he probably comes across the evolved Purloin.
Yeah.
I completely forgot what this character. I had to look it up just to see what he looked like. I completely forgot who he was. Like, to me, he wasn't. I mean, to shoot, all right, that's great. But like to me, I'm like, oh, this is a character. Obviously, I didn't pay any attention to. Just.
Did you play through the game?
I did. Like I said, I really don't remember him. So, like, if you ask me, like, hey man, what was your favorite part of Silver? Fighting Joggy, who was, your rival. I named him Joggy because Fist of North Star, Joggy. Say my name.
I remember. For some reason, in the fight part, like, my memory of Black 2 and White 2, I thought like the rival was that guy with the glasses, but he's the rival from the original Black and White. It starts with a C. Like Shari or Sir something. I'll have to look into it later. I have the game in that case over there.
Colrus. His name was Colrus. Yeah.
Oh, wow.
I fought him in my Nuzlocke. He was annoying.
You know what else is annoying?
What?
The answer to this question.
Ah.
Oh, yeah, nice segue again, sir.
All right.
I actually still remember the question.
All right. So, question number 10. Name one of the types of Pokemon that has had the least gym representation throughout the entire series. Shoot. Your answer.
I'm gonna say Dark because it's like famous for only having the one gym.
Pernell.
I'm honestly glad he said that, because that makes me feel better about mine, because I wrote all the gym types down and just like kind of stared at them during the song. I was like trying to remember all the gyms, and I was like,
too.
I feel like it has to be Dark, because I only remember like one or two of them.
All right. Bedroth, do you have an answer?
I actually was gonna say, I think, Steel.
Okay. All right. That being said, all three of you are correct. So, for a bonus point, name one other type that has had the least representation as well.
Oh crap! Let me look at my list again. Bloody hell! Hang on.
Oh, because it was multiple. Okay, there's multiple possible.
You guys already got Dark and Steel.
Yeah.
There's three other types. That's the only hint you're getting from me.
So you're saying one more that has the same number of low gym representation, or
Basically, less than 5.
so you said Dark and Steel.
Yeah, you already got Dark and Steel. There's 3 others.
But look at well, Fairy's obviously one of them, because Fairy's only been in 3 gyms.
Yeah, Fairy.
And I don't even think it had a gym in every one of them
One of
either.
them didn't even have gyms.
All right, so is
Yeah, Gen 7 has an island.
Oh yeah, you're right. Gen 7
Yeah.
was those. But then I feel like they still had
Trials.
themes. At least the trials were themed. Like that one
I'm
theme
not-
was like watery, like the freaking fish jerk.
I'm not basing it off of that.
Okay, so definitely Fairy is one of them. Then you said Dark and Steel.
All right, so Fairies. All right, shoot. What's your answer?
Bug. I think it's Bug.
So, you're both correct. Now, here's what. So all of them. All right. So Dark has only had one gym, which was Gen 8, Piers and Marnie. Bug has only had 3 gyms. Steel has only had 2. Fairy has only had 2, and Ghost has only had 3.
Surprised to hear that about Ghost. Well, I guess that makes sense. Yeah, because Ghost had Elite 4 battles.
Yeah, because I had to pull it up real quick because of the double check.
Yeah.
So in terms of, let's see, Fairy was Valerie and flipping Opal/Bede.
Opal.
Dark was Piers and Marnie. Let's see, Still, which
Wait a minute.
I was a little
Piers
shocked.
and Marnie are considered 2 gyms? 2 separate
No, they're
gyms?
considered one. They're considered
Huh.
one. But I'm saying Piers and Marnie because Marnie took over for Piers at the end of the game.
Oh, I got you.
Still was Byron and Jasmine. Ghost was, let's see, Morty.
And I feel like Steel
Fantina.
needs another chance, too, because I feel like when they did Jasmine, it was like... There's like
And from Gen 8, it was, what's his name? Alistair.
And then Alistair.
Yeah, but he was only in S.H.I.E.L.D.
Yeah.
Yeah. Now, Bug, which really irks me because I feel like, y'all just ain't gonna keep crapping on my bugs.
I mean, they were really bad.
Viola,
Until Gen 5.
Berg,
Timmy.
and I should know this. No, not Bugsy.
Bugsy.
Get it, Bugsy,
Of course.
because he
Bugsy.
likes bugs.
Pokemon humor.
Yeah.
So good.
Oh god.
Bird.
Pernell. You listen. I'm gonna need you. Listen. You have not filed the proper paperwork for dad jokes. We're gonna.
I filed so much paperwork.
We're gonna have to fine you.
I filed so
okay?
much.
Okay.
So
Better
go
off
take out the
file
trash.
paperwork.
So many Pokemon
Go,
jokes.
go take out the trash and clean the leaves out the
Yeah,
gutters.
my house is full of paperwork I filed.
So many. So many.
Oh. Oh, yeah.
It's my special power.
To be a
It's a really bad special power.
Pernell with the power to tell dad jokes despite not being a dad.
Dun, dun, dun. All right.
All right. So what's our next one?
All right. So question 11. How many Pokemon appear in Pokefloats in Super Smash Bros. Melee?
Oh boy.
Oh, Pokeflip.
This is another multiple choice. Okay. The answers are 19,
Oh boy.
7, 18.
Well, clearly the answer is 0 because people freaking got it banned because they couldn't stop complaining about it.
Technically, it's back
Oh, yeah.
because apparently there's a way to time when certain ones come out.
Wait. They brought
Oh.
Pokefloats back to Ultimate?
Yeah, I believe it's an ultimate,
No.
but I know you can use it.
Look this up, then.
I think you can play it in tournament play on Melee at least because they recently unbanned it for some reason.
Yeah, maybe that, but
At least that's what I was
That's
told.
what
not
I
an
mean.
ultimate. I know that.
Yeah, I'm
Which
looking
was
now.
Ultimate.
'Cause if it's in Ultimate, I'll be happy.
Well, while Pernell's
Folks
looking
is
that
the
up,
only Pokemon stage from the entire series not to reappear in Ultimate because people kept complaining about it. I loved Pokefloats.
well, while Pernell's looking at Bedroth, what's your final track?
Oh yeah, my final. Okay, so my final track actually went in a completely different direction. My final track is from Pokken Tournament. It is Dragon's Nest. And that was Dragon's Nest from Pokken Tournament, composed by Hiroki Hashimoto, published by Bandai Namco Studios and the Pokemon Company, and released for Wii U, Switch, and also the arcade in 2015. Did not know there was an arcade cabinet for this.
This is news to me as well.
I feel like I remember hearing about one Japan, but that's about as far as I would have gotten with it.
Man, Japan gets everything.
Yeah.
That's where they develop them. We let them run. We get freaking raw thrills.
One interesting thing I wanted to note about this, obviously the title is a play on it's a combination of Tekken and Pokemon, but so it was called Pokken in every territory in the world, except for one in Europe, that is Germany, where it was not called Pokken, it was just called Pokemon Tekken, because in Germany, Pokken sounds like the word for smallpox. Yep. Yeah, so you don't want the kids to get that Pokken.
Dad, Father, what is it, son? Can we go get the Pokken? How dare you! Your great-grandfather died from Pokken, but I just wanted to play a game. Your generation knows nothing of this game. It's not a game, it's life. And you're just like, but sir, this is an actual game. Like, it's just called Pokken.
Yeah. Talk about marketing. That would have been.
Oh my god. I was commenting when we were listening to it that it literally, even though this isn't a fighting game, and I never got to this part of the game, to me it sounds like something you would literally, it's appropriate name, Dragon's Nest, because I feel like this is something I would play in a game where I'm fighting an actual dragon, be it like Monster Hunter or maybe what was that other game? Dragon Age Origins or even Dark Souls.
Yeah, it's definitely super epic, and this whole soundtrack is really great. It was really hard going through all the spin-offs because there were a lot of games. I think I'll probably get to my honorable mentions a little bit later, but there was a lot of really great stuff in here. Shootkapow, I don't think I ever really got super into this. We watched a little bit. We downloaded the demo. Have you guys ever really played it much?
Yeah, I really didn't have anyone to play with, and then when I did play online, there was a lot of cheap tactics used. I mean, the gameplay style it's alright, even though it's called basically Pokemon / Tekken, in a sense, Pokken, it plays nothing like Tekken. So you have the fighting changes between two different planes. So you have where you're distance from each other, so it goes to like a 3D type plane, where it's like you can move around and like throw projectiles and stuff at each other. Then when you get too close or you switch the plane, so to say, it becomes more of a 2D slant. Like, think of it like this: it goes from Naruto Ultimate Ninja Storm to Tekken.
Ultimate Ninja Storm?
Yeah, Ultimate Ninja Storm, like how that fighting style is, where you're kind of running around like a 3D battle arena.
Oh God, you missed the joke! No.
Oh God. And then it goes straight to Tekken. I mean, it goes straight to like it's an okay. I mean, and the thing is, the roster of Pokemon they have, and they've added DLC since. Like, I think one of the newer ones that were added to the Switch version was Chandelier. And let me see if I can pull up the list of Pokemon that's in this game.
Yeah.
Lucario.
Napoleon was a fighter, which always surprised me.
He was. Let's see.
I mean, there's so many. You're never going to please everybody.
Yeah, because it was called Pokemon Tournament DX, right?
Yeah, the one on Switch.
I think this was the Switch version.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was the Switch version. So, let's see. Alright, so, as of the Switch version... Oh, Pernell, you'll love this one. Aegislash, Blastoise, Blaziken, Braixen, Chandelier, Charizard, Krogunk, Darkrai, Sweatai, Empoleon, Garchomp, Gardevoir, Gengar, Lucario, Machamp, Mewtwo, Pikachu, Pikachu Libre!
Yeah!
Sceptile, Scizor, Shadow Mewtwo, Suicune, and Weavile.
It's kind of a weird mix.
Pikachu Libre.
Although I will say this, I did enjoy Pikachu in the game because I think Pikachu Libre had a Pikachu stunner.
Wait, what? You mean like from Stone Cold?
I'm not kidding. If you want, go look up the.
Well, I guess that kind of made it.
Yes, look up the game if you can find it. It's on YouTube. It's basically he uses I think Electro Web or Electro Ball, but he does a stunner.
Wow. Yeah, I'm gonna have to look that up.
It is. I remember, And I think his top rope thing is like electric elbow drop, like the people's elbow. It was great. That was the one time I was like, Pikachu's pretty
That's
nice.
pretty amazing.
Other than that, screw that yellow rat. That's why I'm glad Blanca put it in a blender like a smoothie.
And a call back to Death Battle. How about you, Pernell?
I have played only the demo because I'm not a big fighting game guy in that regard. So I was like, I'll try the demo and see if this is appealing to me to consider the buy. But in the end, I was like, I'm not going to get into this enough to justify the spending. So I just kind of got my thrills off the demo and walked away.
I think this goes back to that thing you were saying about like with Puzzle League, where it's like, hey, we're just gonna slap Pokemon on it and try to make a fighting game out of it. That's like, what is it coming up? They basically have a version of League of Legends, but it's Pokemon coming out soon.
I mean, don't get me wrong. Sometimes those labels, like when you do those skins or those concepts, it does sell product. It was just for me when it came to Puzzle League. I didn't feel like it needed it, especially because it was like from the cartoon. But Pokemon as a fighting game, if I played fighters, I think it would have been a great concept just because I would like to see Pokemon do more than be told to do a move and then they do it. I like the idea of them actually maneuvering on the battlefield and doing things. So it makes sense to exist in that manner. It fits the mold.
Makes you think what could hold for the future of the main series. Like, could you imagine that if you could actually, in a sense, move your Pokemon around while giving them attacks, or they moved on their own and you give them an attack to do like that?
Open world Pokemon.
Well, you partly get that with what was it? They had that one game, the Conquest, where because essentially without going full on like live like an actual tournament game, that is that level of gameplay where it'd be like to get to that next step is to actually have a tactics game where you move them and say, okay, do this move. Okay, they do their move. And you can kind of have them evade attacks and stuff like that.
Conquest.
Because
Conquest, I've never played it either, but it looks like it was really cool. It was like a crossover between Pokemon and Shin Megami Tensei, of all things. But that was, okay, I guess now's a decent time as any to mention some of my honorable mentions. So this one, Pokemon Conquest, has really, really good music. Especially they have like a battle theme for every type. Those are all really good. Pokemon, another one that we listened to quite a few of the songs of, they were really good, was Pokemon Quest.
The weird geometric one.
Yes. Yeah, like the blocky one. It looked kind of like Pokemon if my Pokemon were in Minecraft or something.
Fun fact, in the Isle of Armor, Mustard's actually playing this like on his TV in his little room.
Pokemon Quest, really?
Yeah, he's playing Pokemon Quest.
Oh, that's amazing. It's meta marketing. Another one that is really good, the OST is really good, was Hey You Pikachu. Which
the game was not.
Actually, back in high
seen some
school,
stuff about this
a friend of mine and I saw a commercial for this game. And we just went out, no questions asked, and bought it. And then we got it, we were super excited, we picked it up, we brought it home, and it was hot garbage.
Wow, that's putting it eloquently.
hey, you!
Just being nice about it.
Yeah, I mean,
that wasn't putting
we got it in, it was N64, and you had a microphone that you plugged into part of the N64, the controller, and you try to talk into the microphone and tell Pikachu to do something, and it would just sit there. And then you would yell at him, and it would just sit there.
Pikachu!
Yeah, Pikachu.
Hey.
Pikachu!
Hey.
Pikachu! Pikachu!
Hey,
And
watch out!
yeah, wouldn't listen, so
Hey!
yeah, that was the last impulse.
My
Game
condolences for your wallet. Shoot,
Hey! Pikachu!
Shut up, Pikachu!
that was a game that I laughed when that game got sold. Like, hey, you Pikachu was like, you're lost, buddy. I mean, here, enjoy.
I'm just sitting there thinking to myself, like, nowhere in your mind did none of you got that tingling feeling in your stomach like this is a bad idea. Just, hey, let's get Hey You Pikachu. Thunder rumbled somewhere like.
I mean, we were like 18, and I don't know. I don't even know why I was still into Pokemon at this point. I think it was mostly my friends. I'll put it off on him.
Which I gotta ask. So shoot, seeing as in, all right. So shoot. What would you say is your favorite game to play right now?
Switching gears.
I'm not
Pokemon related, but just in general.
I'm not super sure right now, actually.
Yeah, you've got like several different ones you're playing.
Mm-hmm.
You've been into like Fossil Fighters and Shovel and Hollow Knight and
Eternity.
and you play Link to the Past on the SNES Classic.
2 eternities later.
Among Us.
Among Us. Okay. Alright, so if someone sat there and told you, hey, we're coming out with Among Us, but, was it like, how can I put Among Us in a like, using voice operation? Hey, you're sus.
I think people might have already done that. Like, people have done Minecraft.
Yeah,
with
this is
voice
a game that
controls.
I really, basically, you got direct, like, hey, go, you're the imposter, go kill Blue. Imposter gets caught. Like, honestly, Among Us needs to come to, they need to put that on console. I feel like that game, that's a great party game if you can get a group of friends to play.
Yep.
But I'm not a PC gamer, so I can't do it.
Yeah,
I'm
that's me
PC
too.
and Nintendo.
You know what I
and
can
you
do?
never got us any
Give y'all
PlayStation.
trivia.
And I wish
Nope.
you had.
Yeah.
All right.
All right.
This would be the final question, wouldn't it?
This is no. There's one more question after this one. All right. So the question was, how many Pokemon appear in Poke Floats in Super Smash Bros. Melee?
Oh, so we didn't answer this one yet.
Yeah, the answers are 19, 7,
Come out with a stomach ache.
18. Shoot. What is your answer?
It's not like it's close or anything.
I think it's 19.
Okay. Pernell, your answer.
I'm gonna try 18, though. No, on my luck it'll be 19. But I'm going with 18.
Unfortunately, Pernell is correct.
I love how you're like, unfortunately, I'm allowed to be correct.
No,
All right.
you're not.
So for the bonus question, can either of you name at least one Pokemon that appears in Pokemon Floats?
Yeah, Whooper.
Oh, yeah, Onyx. Onyx is on there.
You're both right. All right. Just so you know, the current score is 8-10.
Who's got the 8?
Yep, it's Shoot. So you're down by 2. However, you could make a comeback because this next question will be for double because we're about to play a track from a game that honestly, and I have a funny story about this. I almost lost a relationship with my ex-wife when we were engaged at the time because of this game.
Oh, those are the best games.
So my last track of the night is from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl / Platinum, and it is the legendary Pokemon battle. When I get back, I'll explain how me getting back into Pokemon at the tender age of 20 almost cost me a relationship.
Let's see how this track jingle jangles.
And that was Legendary Pokemon Theme from Pokemon Diamond and Pearl. This game was composed by Go Ichinose, Junichi Masuda, Hitomi Sato, Morikazu Aoki, and this track was composed by the man himself one last time tonight, Junichi Masuda, Mr. Pokemon. The game once again was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company and developed by Game Freak and released on the DS in 2006. And Daryll, I think you had a little something to tell us about that track, right?
Alright, so first we'll talk about the track itself. The reason why I chose this track, because in this game, I think it's one of the first Pokemon games that had a plethora of legendaries that you could just go out and like search for. Like, you didn't need an event code, you didn't need an event, just the post game was full of just going out, because if I'm correct, this is a game, and correct me if I'm wrong, Pernell, that had the 3 psychic legendaries, the
Azelf and Uxie and that third name.
Mexprit, something.
Yeah, Mesprit,
Either way,
was it?
Yeah, so
Oh, yeah. Those ones.
other than those 3,
Those from the
you
lakes.
had also Dialga, You had
Palkia,
Cresselia, Heatran, and one of my favorite legendaries that, honestly, when I first discovered it, and this is why I always remember this song, Giratina. Now, I forget where exactly it is, but you go into this cave, and I didn't even know Giratina existed. I was playing through the post game, and I just found this cave, and I went through it. I'm going through the cave, and the cave is full of like level 50 and higher Pokemons. Like, and I remember because I caught like a level, I think like 60 Haunter in here.
Whoa!
And I began using that for like, you know, certain Pokemon that would like try to escape because mean look, so on and so forth. And the cave itself, it's a maze. So if you don't go in a certain pattern, you'll keep ending up in the same area over and over again. So eventually, after going through this thing, and again, I didn't look up online how to go through this, I came across this Giratina, and I didn't know what it was. I was like, yo, what is this thing?
Kind of like how I reacted when I first found Zygarde.
It is huge. So then I start fighting it. I'm like, my God, what is this? And I'm like trying to hit it and put it like this. I think that was the first time in that game that I finally used my Master Ball because I could not capture it with an Ultra Ball for nothing.
Giratina, man.
I tried everything. So finally I had to use my Master Ball. So every time I hear the track, I think to this. Now, for why this game is so funny. So as I described, I skipped over Gen 3 because Sapphire, Ruby, they're crap.
hate.
Look, man, we went through this story. Anyway, so
I'm gonna start playing one of those games right now.
I remember getting the game, and I was working 2 jobs at the time. Now, my night job required me working from 11 at night to 7 in the morning. I would then walk home to my apartment, which is about maybe a 10-15 minute walk from my job. Get home, get a shower, go to sleep, and I'd probably wake up around 9:45 and go across the street to my other job, which was a Pizza Hut. I'd work there from either 10 to 4 or 10 to 8. Then go home, sleep for like an hour or 2, then get up and go back to my next job.
Oh, man.
So in between doing this, and I would do this for 4 days straight, mind you. In between doing this, I was playing Pokemon, and at the time I had just got an Xbox 360. And I was living and breathing Pokemon Diamond. Like, if I wasn't playing the actual game and leveling up Pokemon, I was hatching eggs. And in this game, there's a particular area in the game where I think it's a warehouse, and it has those little tiles that move you back and forth.
Oh yeah, those.
So if I was going to go to sleep and I had an egg I had to hatch, I would give it to my guy. I'd go to that area. I would then take a clothespin, put it on the left D-pad, and I would just leave the DS open on the charge cord and let the character just go back and forth, hitting the thing because it'll push you back, and because the clothespin is being held down, you'll go right back over, hit the thing, and that's how I would hatch eggs.
Oh, yeah.
I'd wake up, egg's ready to hatch.
Yep.
I was playing this game so much, at the time, I had my fiance, who at the time was before she became my wife, then my ex-wife. I wasn't paying attention to her. I wasn't really paying attention to anything else. I was working, playing Pokemon.
Pokemon or nothing?
Just Pokemon. All the time. All day. And it finally got to the point where she spazzed the hell out. I was like, listen to me. If you don't put that game down for at least one day and play your 360 and show me some attention, I'm going to break that thing and leave.
And that's when it goes too far.
I've heard this song before.
I took like a break from Pokemon for about a good week just because it was bad. Like, I was really... and the funny thing is, I hadn't been that obsessed with Pokemon since Silver. Like, it was that ridiculous that I got that much into it. Even now, with these current games, I wasn't that into it as... Like, I play, but not like the way I did Diamond. It was... I look back at it, I'm like, man. But also, Diamond gave me one of my favorite Pokemon of all time. Drapion.
Ooh, that one.
I love that thing.
What was he? A water dragon, right?
What?
No, not Drapion. I'm thinking about Palkia for some dumb reason.
No, Palkia was Ghost Dragon.
No,
this is in the quiz, man.
That was Giratina.
Wait, he was a ghost dragon?
Oh, wait, you said Palkia. Yeah, Palkia was water dragon. I'm thinking
Giratina was the ghost dragon. I know more about Pokemon than both of you.
I deserve an apology.
Drapion is, it's the evolution of Scoruppy. It starts out as Poison Bug, then when it evolves, it becomes Poison Dark. And it's my favorite Pokemon. I run it on every team I have for the group that me and Pernell's in for my gym challenges. And it's a great thing. It's funny because the setup I have for it, I give it this move called Attract. And the reason why I came up with this idea, because I had an ex-girlfriend who was a
You have no idea what it does.
I have an ex-girlfriend who was a Scorpio. She was very toxic. So, I gave the Drapion the move Attack, and then the whole purpose of it is it does Attract on a Pokemon of the opposite sex, and then it poisons them. And what Attract does is every turn, it has a chance of preventing you from attacking because you're immobilized by love.
It's really, really powerful.
So, you're loving the thing, but it's slowly but surely killing you.
You're like adding your own darkness to the Pokedex here, Daryll.
I dig it. I can dig that.
That's why the Drapion was called Sabrina. I love you, but dang, you are slowly but surely killing me, woman.
Oh, man.
And how?
I'm in relationships.
Yeah, Daryl, I love how like Pokemon
Hey,
has been like
you know what's next level?
this integral part of your lives. I know what's next level. What's next level is the next quiz answer.
Yeah. Alright, so, gentlemen, final question of the night. Now, so this is basically for all the marbles. So, current score is 8-10 in Pernell's favor. So, answering this will get you 2 points. Alright? The question is, of these 3 Pokemon, which ones fall under the Bug A group? And for those of you who don't know or need some context, so when you're breeding Pokemon, certain Pokemon fall in different A groups. Some are like human-like, field, water, water 2, water 3, so on and
This
so
is why
forth.
everyone uses Ditto.
So, again, the question is, of these 3 Pokemon, which ones fall under the Bug A group? Gligar, Drapion, Flygon. So,
Now, how many of them is it? Just one?
which of them?
Oh, it could be any of them. It could be all of them. It could be none of them.
Exactly. Ooh, the plot thickens. Just like the plot in Pokemon Coliseum, which is where our last track comes from. I don't know whose
Yep.
track this is.
Nice segue. That's his Pernell's track, I think.
It's yours, isn't it?
Nope.
Pernell, this one's yours.
Oh, the playout track.
Coliseum?
Yeah.
Yeah. Guys, before we get to that last answer, I have to say, I've recorded a lot of these now, and I have been watching him this whole time. Pretty sure this is the most fun Shootkapow has ever had on an episode, and I think it's really cool that Shoot gets to hang out with 2 guys from the East Coast Pokemon League. They're like in the big times now.
The Pokemon League.
ECPL Invasion.
Alright, represent.
I'm always been bad with the egg groups, so this may very well be Mr. Kapow's. But I'll take a crack at it. So name the 3 again. You said Gliscor, Drapion, and
Okay.
what else?
Gligar, Drapion, Flygon. Which of these 3 fall under the Bug A group? So, shoot.
I'm gonna say Gligar and Drapion.
Okay. Pernell.
I'll go Gligar.
Alright. Gentlemen,
Both wrong.
you're both correct.
What?
Wait, what?
What?
How can we both be correct? We said different Pokemon.
The correct answer, here's the thing. All 3 fall under the Bug A group.
Of course they do.
Oh,
Oh,
so that means
man.
we're both wrong then.
Nope, you're both right. I said which of them. So you could have said
But
one.
it's all
You
of
could have said
them.
all 3, or you could have said one. As long as you guessed which one it was, or any of them.
So-
It's a trick question.
You give an
Oh.
answer, you get a point.
Oh, all right. Hey, I'm not complaining.
Oh,
I
man.
got it. I mean, it was my quiz. I'd have been like,
Now,
But that was old school.
unfortunately, young Shootkapow, you have lost.
That was your fault, though.
Although I feel kind of bad because
I'm old, but I'm still wise.
Pernell is somewhat wise in the way of games. I mean, he never finishes them. He wants to play everything on super hard mode, which is why I call him the masochistic metallic madman.
I'm gonna send it anyway.
But shoot, do not worry. There is a consolation prize. So, I was talking to your father, and he had told me about the situation with your Pokemon Silver. So I had offered something, but then I thought of something a little bit better, so I will allow you to decide. I have in my possession a pretty decent copy of Pokemon Silver. I haven't played it in a while. It's literally just sitting over here collecting dust. Hold on. Or, I can send your father the money, so you can go ahead and get the Crown Tundra Isle of Armor DLC for Sword and Shield, whichever one you have.
Ooh.
This is a hard question. You already owed Soul Silver.
Yeah, and I am pretty far into the run already.
Now,
So what do you want to do, kid? Come on.
now my main reason for doing this... Go on. You're already...
Okay, well, I have already gotten pretty far into my Soul Silver water run, and I can probably cope without my Chinchou having Thunderbolt.
So it sounds like you would prefer the DLC instead.
Yeah,
And thank you.
and thank you.
Alright, so where's my prize? Alright, so what you mailed me?
You get the prize of knowing you beat... You get the prize of knowing you beat up on a 15-year-old. How's that sound?
Worth it. I'll take it. I like that.
Now, the main reason why for
good
me...
at Pokemon.
The main reason why for me doing this, because, like your dad was saying, this was the most fun you've had, and just like with my sons, I appreciate what your dad's doing here with this show, because he's able to share with you his culture and things he grew up with, and impart upon you the wisdom that he has. Same thing I'm trying to do with my son. So I feel that it's only proper, seeing as me and Pernell both, represent a league of people that, are very well into Pokemon and come from a good community to encourage this type of behavior and, your love for the game. And I would hate for you to have to fight me somewhere down the line, only to lose because you didn't have all the Pokemon at your disposal. Because when I beat you, kid, I don't want there to be no excuses.
Don't let him
No
talk
Johns.
trash to you. Don't let him downplay your skills.
Mark my words, Daryll, I will defeat you. One day.
Maybe continue one of his prized Incineroars.
Ooh.
Oh, kid, if you want, I'll send you an Incineroar.
No.
I got a ton of rejects.
It was a fire blast.
Well, yeah, want the DLC for the DLC. Diglett collecting mission Incineroar thingy.
Daryll, this has been really generous of you. The questions themselves have just been really fun, but the prize also is just really cool. Shootkapow has something to say.
Thank you, Daryll.
You're welcome.
And so, guys, I'm going to forgo the regular spiel about my own stuff here. I really appreciate all of my Patreons. I do want to give a shout-out to 2 brand new patrons this month, Forrest Shamlian and Ryan Steele. Guys, thank you so much for joining the crew. The rest of you, you all know who you are. Links will be in the show notes to all their work. Gentlemen, where can our listeners find the two of you on the interwebs?
Well, I'll let the old man go first, because it's way past his bedtime.
Oh, you hush, you. But I am pretty old, and my back is giving me a lot of problems lately. So, I'm in a number of places, I guess, lately. Of the default is you can find me on Rhythm and Pixels, which is a video game music podcast. www.rhythmandpixels.com, or YouTube as Rhythm and Pixels, or Spotify as Rhythm and Pixels. In addition to that, I am also on the show Blown Cartridges, which is a discussion group for classic Nintendo, not just Nintendo, just classic game franchises and whatever topics will come up. We're still kind of new, but just generally shared on YouTube is just Blown Cartridges. You can find me on the SML podcast, as I go there to do game reviews and interviews and just common gooble gobbly, though language is a little bit there, but if you're okay with language, also, YouTube is the SML podcast. And aside from that, I'm trying to think. I feel like I'm forgetting something.
Oh, wait, I know what you're forgetting, Pernell. If y'all really want to see...
East Coast Pokemon League?
Oh, yeah, well, East Coast Pokemon League, yes.
But I do want to interject, that's not Saturday Night Live podcast. It's actually small, medium, large.
Yes.
That's what it stands for?
Uh-huh.
I always thought it stood for Saturday Morning Live.
No, it's small, medium, large. And also, there's another sub-meaning of it, too, called Someone Might Listen.
Oh, okay. I never knew that. I mean, yeah, but also...
No, you were right. You were right, though. That is the original meaning, but then it took a different form later on.
But yeah, also, East Coast Pokemon League, we're on... I think we're mainly on Facebook. I don't think we're on Twitter. No, we're not.
No,
We're just on
Twitter.
Facebook. We're just a group of people, mainly adults, who play Pokemon. We have a league. We're usually at MAG every year. R.I.P. MAG 2020.
Doom, doom,
You know, if y'all ever want to...
21. We had 20.
Yeah,
Thank
Doom.
goodness for that.
Doom. We want Doom at MAG 2022. Give us back Doom. But that being said, if y'all anyone out there who likes Pokemon, who wants to join a league, look us up on Facebook. Again, we're a pretty chill group. There's rules and stuff. You know, make a team, challenge people, beat on Pernell. He's not that easy though.
Hey, well, how you gonna beat on me if I'm not that easy? That doesn't
That's the whole
work.
point of Steel. Take a beat and keep it moving.
Faces.
Oh, it's getting late. You guys are making me laugh.
All right. One other thing I want to say. If y'all really want, I have a link to a video of Pernell doing the one-chip challenge at MAG back in 2016.
Oh.
If y'all want to get a kick out of that.
Why have you put me on the spot? Why gotta be that way?
Unfortunately, I lost in a Pokemon match this weekend, so I actually have to do the one-chip challenge before the week's out.
Good.
I gotta get a hold of one, and I gotta record it too. But people can find me. I mean, I'm just starting up VGM Fight Club, which surprise, our good host here, Mr. Bedroth, is participating in his first match against the current VGM Fight Club champion, Utopia Nemo, in a Sega Street Fight.
So, interjection. We actually talk about it in just a second, Daryl and I do, but this has already happened a while back. I did beat Utopia Nemo at the Sega Challenge, which was well fought, great music, and actually went on into the finals and faced off against Alex Messenger of VGM Journey and Rob Nichols, Pernell's partner on Rhythm and Pixels. And that episode just dropped last week as you're listening to this. And I don't know if the results have been posted yet, but go check it out, VGM Fight Club.
That episode will most likely be up sometime between tomorrow night or Tuesday morning, so look forward to that. There's a Facebook page.
Well, but remember, this isn't going to launch till 1st of December, so...
Yeah, oh wow, I forgot. Just go back in your time machine, people. I do have a Facebook page for VGM Fight Club, but not that much traffic there. If you want to email me, vgmfightclub@hotmail.com. I also have another podcast I do with my friend Claire, who's also part of the East Coast Pokemon League, called Senpai's Playlist. It's an anime music playlist. We don't have anything other than an email, senpaisplaylist@hotmail.com. Other than that, just YouTube page, The Next Save Point. That's where I put my streams whenever I do stream something. Tournament videos of me and my brothers and my friends playing video games. And I don't have that much of a presence. I'm not that famous like some people out there.
I don't know all that either. I'm just, I eat sandwiches just like everybody else. And they're delicious sandwiches.
I want a sandwich.
Sandwiches one leg at a time.
I eat my sandwiches one leg at a time.
Yep. What kind of crazy sandwiches you eating?
That being said, Daryll, I mean, like I said, I love the dynamic of the show with you and your son, especially. That's why I call y'all the Batman and Robin / Nightwing, because we all know Shootkapow's a little bit too old to be, wearing tights. I mean, well, Nightwing still wears tights, but you get the point. But I love the fact that, and it actually does good for me that you chose this particular weekend to finish it, because Friday would have been my father's birthday. He would have been 55. He passed away when I was Shootkapow's age, actually. So it warms my heart to see people out there, especially in this day and age where, everything's crazy. The world is literally going to hell in a handbasket, so to say. But, shows like Pernell's and shows like yours, it honestly helps me get through my week.
I hear that.
I'm not going to lie. So I think it's nice that you were able to find something to do with your son that, y'all can share to the world.
It's something about this community as a whole, to be honest with you, too. Just like, it's a positive place to go and just talk shop.
It really is, and I mean, shows like y'all's really helped get me through the week too. And it's been a blast talking to you guys tonight. So thank you again for coming on.
Yeah, thanks.
It's been a whole lot of fun.
This barbed wire fist is coated with love.
Other than when the chains come out.
Yep.
Love this year's Typer Beam.
That's right, on VGM Fight Club.
Hugs and pain.
Look out, he's got a chair!
I'm just thinking about this. Like, so the last episode was Capcom Cage Fight, Sega Street Fighter. I'm like, yo, how many more ways can I word video game stuff to come off as just very violent and gory, but half the tracks are just like I was listening back to some of your tracks because I was putting the stuff together for the episode today. I was like, oh my god, these tracks. Although I will say this, the Capcom Cage Fight has drawn in the most views of all my episodes so far.
Yeah, you'll be surprised as the show goes on which ones are the biggest. Like, right now, for me, the biggest 2 episodes, I believe, are Five Finger Fanfare, which I didn't even know anybody outside the Mercado family had heard of, but apparently it's pretty popular. And actually, our most popular episode right now is the Kirby episode, the Halloween episode.
Oh, I thought it was Rivals Rogue and Frenemies.
It used to be.
Wow.
But I gotta say, Daryll, I love that there's all this like interplay between. You've really made it super interactive with the listeners, and it's a really cool idea.
Well, I figured that it was the only way. Like, actually, it was Ed that gave me the idea. For those of you, Ed Wilson of the VG Embassy, our patron saint Ed, praise Ed. He's the one that ultimately gave me the idea of
Podcast Daddy and VGM Prime Minister.
Oh yeah, he's our Prime Minister Ed. Ed was the one that gave me ultimately the idea because I was trying to come up with a way to do it. Ed was like, well, try to have them arrange their tracks in order as if they were like weakest to strongest and then have people vote on it. I was like, oh my god, I think I have an idea. This would work. And so far it's been doing well. So thanks, Ed.
So, do you guys have any final words for our listeners?
Wu-Tang forever.
Peace and love. Don't be a jerk.
Yeah.
Share your sandwiches and share your rich crackers.
Whoa, dude. Social distancing. You can't be sharing sandwiches.
The heck you can. They transcend social distancing. I'll mail you a pack.
I'll mail you this sandwich.
Dude, if you mail me a sandwich, I'm be very pissed simply because the meat is probably... Well, actually, no, wait. You're only about 2 hours away. I'll just drive down and get the sandwich.
But social distancing, man.
I mean, I'll just have a tape measure when I get to your house. Be like, hold on, Pernell.
Yep.
All right, we good.
Just toss me the sandwich.
Oh, show idea. 6 feet of video game music. A social distancing podcast.
We'll wait for Smash. Wait everything for Smash. Go check out my music on flat.io. Lloyd. Yes, swords.
Yeah. And then after he gets in Smash, Shootkapow will have to find out a different name for him.
But then what will the name be? Lloyd Irving's in Smash?
I'll probably just change it to Shootkapow.
He'd have been a better pick than Steve!
So, Pernell, why don't you tell us a little about this last track? Yet another side game.
Well, this track is honestly one of my favorites from the entire Pokemon franchise as a whole. This comes from one of the side games on the GameCube, actually. The game title being Pokemon Coliseum. And the track title is called Phaenax City, or Phoenix City, depending on what region you hail from. I don't know. Enjoy it.
Yep, enjoy. And just so everybody else doesn't labor under the same delusion I did, Pokemon Coliseum is not actually a sequel to Pokemon Stadium. It's like kind of like its own thing. And then it actually had like a follow-up sequel. It's like a weird name. I can't remember what it was.
XD Gale of Darkness?
Pokemon XD.
Gale of Darkness.
Pokemon XD.
Yeah, Gale of Darkness. Oh, XD.
XD.
Oh, you Gen Zers. But anyway, yeah, the music in this one was super, super good. You played the Mirror Beast theme on our one of our episodes a while back. The Five Finger Fanfare episode, actually.
Yeah.
All right, well, as we get into Pokemon Coliseum, which actually was composed by Tsukasa Sawada, was published by Nintendo and the Pokemon Company, and developed by Genius Sonority for the GameCube in 2003. Gentlemen, thanks again for joining us.
Thank you for having us. It was a great time.
Until next time, play very good games, be very good people.
Keep listening to
Very good music.
Very good music.
All right, everybody. We'll see you next time.
Smell you later, Gramps.
Don't pick Pikachu!
Ta-da!